Oh shit, is it working? Oh, hello. All right. I think it might be working. Let's see. Oh. Okay, I see the regular stream. It looks like the regular stream's working, but I don't see the vertical stream. Did it create a different stream for vertical? Let me go back and refresh. Okay, show me all my current streams. Come on, go back. Go back. Content live. No, it shows one stream. Then if I open up the dashboard thingamabopper, it does not show a dual stream. I'm trying to set up vertical streams. So in OBS, I set up the vertical stream. It worked great on Twitch. Like on Twitch, it just worked magically. But it looks like I'm having some issues. By the way, do I sound okay, chat? Everything sound good? I'm having a little bit of an issue here. Let me, does this multi-chat work? Here, refresh. Highlight, mention, show timestamps. All right, and refresh, F5. Okay, I don't see anything in multi-chat, so I think the activity feed is the only thing that works in ground control. So I'm going to get rid of everything else. YouTube is not a supported platform for this. Okay, that's fine. Remove panel. Quick actions. I'm just going to remove that too. I'll just leave it all activity feed. Okay. So apparently I have an activity feed. That's good. We just don't have a vertical stream. Can everybody confirm that there is no vertical stream? It has an option to turn on. It says dual stream, automatically generate vertically cropped version. But I don't want to automatically generate one. I want to use the one that I created in OBS. So something's a little weird. Let me enable that though. I want to see what, oh, I can't. I already started the stream. If I already started the stream, apparently that doesn't work. Does it say that I'm sending anything? Hold on here. What does this say? Do I got to click this button maybe? Oh, shit. Did that do something? Stream all vertical outputs. Do you guys see a vertical output now by chance? Ooh, I might have screwed something up, guys. Uh-oh. Here, let me go back and look at my stream list and see if I magically have like two streams side by side. Because it's not supposed to do that. It's supposed to have them all under one stream. So I'm trying to figure out what's going on here. Okay, let me go to live. What does it say? Oh, it still only shows the one. So even though it says it is streaming, like it is actually streaming, it says it's sending the vertical stream. I verified it is sending to YouTube. It did accept the key. It claims it's sending the data. It's just YouTube's not doing anything with it. I say, this apparently will need some additional setup to get working properly. Apparently YouTube is a little bit more sophisticated than the Twitch. Go figure. How's it going, everybody? Welcome to Tech Talk. Sorry, Ox couldn't join us today. He just recently moved. He sent me a picture this morning. His new apartment is literally just stacked to the ceiling with stuff because he had to move really quick and move all of his stuff. So he doesn't even have a computer set up or even a desk to put a computer on yet. So sadly, he had to bow out this morning, not for lack of trying. But and then of course David is watching the World Cup. So otherwise he would have joined me today. But you guys get me, myself, and I is going to hang out with you today. Let me bust out chat here. Here, pop out chat. I want to stick chat over here so I can see you guys in glorious 20D. Yeah, so vertical is not working. Vertical is not working, but there is an option in the dashboard. Like when I go into the dashboard for YouTube, it does have a dual stream button you can turn on. It says automatically generate a vertically cropped version for your shorts feed. But I didn't click that because I don't want it to just create a random cropped version in the middle. Although now that I look at the layout, the cropped version in the middle would have worked just fine, wouldn't it? God damn it. I probably should have just pushed that and it would have saved me all the trouble. What I was trying to do was I created a whole different overlay, a whole different everything, created a vertical stream, vertical scenes, vertical sources in OBS, all the stuff I did for the Twitch stream. And sadly, it did not work. So, shit. It's all good. It's all good. I'm still here. That's what matters. And by the way, if you guys caught the Twitch stream late last night, I have not slept since. I tried to get some sleep. I really did. Tried to go to sleep about 2-3 times. It just didn't happen. I had wicked insomnia. So I have not slept since last night, just in case you guys were wondering. Let me see here. I've got my analytics window here. It looks like people are pouring in. We got 77 current viewers. That is beautiful. I probably should go out and tell people I'm streaming though, since the stream is so late. A lot of people probably just assume that I bailed today, and that is in fact not the truth. I did not bail today, so I should probably go tell people otherwise. But can you guys? So sound is crisp. Oh, by the way, sound is crisp for a reason. I found out that Windows 11, and I got a rant for you guys. Holy shit, am I going to rant on Windows today? Actually, I got a lot of rants today. You guys feel like a good rant-filled episode of Tech Talk? Are you guys feeling it? Because I got some rants, man. I got some fucking rants. I got some rants that I just want to fucking air. Just want to get out there and over and just fucking pissed. I'm just kidding. I'm not that bad. Fucking making the frogs gay. I'm mad. Windows mad as hell. Done you buy my show. Shit. Oh my god, I haven't done an Alex Jones in a long time. All right, so I gotta send El Streamio out. Let's see what we got here. Bradley Smith's like, I'm open to joining. It's funny, anytime a co-host bows out, I always have a list of people that message me, and they're like, hey, I'll be the co-host. I wish it was that simple, as you could just pull in another person and just go, but I've tried it a long time ago. I tried it a whole bunch of times. It never works out. It never works out. It's like, it's weird. And it's not the other person. It's me. It's just, it takes me so long to build a chemistry with somebody to live stream with. And that's why, like, you know, I live stream with like Aux and David. It's taken so long for me to build a rapport that anytime I bring somebody else on, the chemistry is just weird. There's all kinds of awkward pauses and talking over, and it just gets really weird when it's like a last minute swap out. If it's something that was like more planned for, and it was somebody that I did streams with before, like I was on their streams and I was comfortable and everything and I had a good rapport, then yeah, I'd do it. But Jerry with in his pants. It's not really that easy to just yank somebody in. I know a lot of people are like, yeah, it is. And it can be entertaining too for people, but for me, it can be stressful. But I do appreciate the offers. I think it's awesome. I love that you guys do want to stream with me. That makes me feel super duper happy. I just wish that I wish that my brain worked a little better these days. I wish I was a little bit more dynamic like I used to be, and I used to be able to roll with the punches. You know what I mean? I've had Wendell or Scotty come on before, and that was awesome. Oh yeah, Wendell and Scotty I both know in real life. By the way, if you guys were wondering, Wendell I've known forever in real life. Scotty I've known for at least 6 or 7 years now. Both of them I've met in real life multiple times, hung out with, stay in contact with for the most part. Scotty, I need to reach out to him though. I'll be honest, I haven't talked to Scotty in about 6 months. Not because there's anything wrong or anything going on there. It's just I know he's been like really, really busy, and I've been just kind of like off the reservation, if you guys haven't noticed, due to a bunch of health bullshit and stuff going on in my life that's been incredibly stressful. That still isn't gone, but I'm dealing with it. I'm getting through it. I'm finding ways to manage. And that's what you do in life. Life is just a series of managements, right? You just got to manage your way through shit. Let me make sure, by the way, DeWolfsden, thank you so much for that $5. And you know what? It actually showed up in the activity feed, which means Stream Elements is fucking working. Did you guys see any pop-up or alert pop up on the screen by chance? I wasn't listening, so I don't know if it like played and I just missed it. But did it pop up on the screen? Could you see it? And did it make any sounds or say anything? Because I don't recall hearing it, so I'm not sure if it's actually activating or something. Bradley said we need a one-on-one Discord chat sometimes. We can work on a VR stream. Perhaps in the future, Bradley. Here's the thing. Here's my thing. Before I start doing anything else, I need to lock down what I've got already. So as soon as I get back to regular streams, like 3 to 4 streams a week, I actually want more than that. And then I want a minimum of 5 streams a week when I'm back to full production. But I want a minimum of 3 or 4 streams a week reliably that I can bang out on a regular basis, meeting some kind of schedule, and I can just comfortably get through it. Once I get to that point where I'm comfortable with that, then I feel like I'll be in a position to where I'll be able to start trying new things again. But until I can lock down just the basic act of just like being able to do my 9 to 5, if you will, of getting up and streaming and stuff like that, I really just got to focus on that. I just got to get her done. However, I am open to doing some gaming streams and stuff. So, you know, down the road, once I'm a little bit more comfortable and I'm back in my regular little groove, if you will, I'd love to do some live streams of like Forza Horizon 6. I want to get back into Minecraft too. I feel like the reason I left Minecraft is because it was like the most toxic community ever back in the day. Actually, right now is probably not the greatest time to get back into Minecraft after what fucking Toby did, Tobuscus or whatever the fuck his name is. Was it Toby Turner or whatever? God, what the fuck was he thinking, man? God damn. I mean, I don't want to go on too much of a rant, but yeah, if you follow Tobuscus, just go unfollow that piece of shit. Like, seriously, I knew that guy for a long time. We followed each other. We used to DM way back in the day. He seemed like he was a really nice guy, and then like he had some false allegations against him. Shit went kind of sideways for him. And then he started slipping into like the hard mega shit. Now he's just full on racist. Dude just went like full Nazi mode. It reminds me of Melanie Mack, when Melanie Mack used to be okay, and then for some reason, I guess she just lost popularity. She freaked out and decided to just go full mega. Now, are they doing it for the grift? Possibly. Are they doing it just to make the money? Yeah, it's such a radical change. It's entirely possible. But the fact is they're doing it, and by doing it, they're encouraging their audiences and they're pushing people to continuously push that hate and that narrative and do those things. So even if they're doing it for money, it's like no excuse. It's like you're still a racist piece of shit when you're doing stuff like that. So, yeah, so I'm like, and Tobuscus used to be a huge, you probably remember him from the, do you like my sword, my diamond sword, you will not ignore, no, my diamond sword. Like back in the day, that was like a super popular song, had like a gajillion million views. I used to like his stuff, but the video he made like 10 days ago, I instantly blocked him, unfollowed him, and all my friends that followed him because of me, I went and messaged all of them and said, hey, listen, go check out what he's doing. Like, I don't know what the fuck's wrong with him, but this is unacceptable. Like, there's no fucking way. I mean, the dude literally published a video, not just with like an opinion on border security, basically saying, get the fuck out of my country, basically brown people. It's like, dude, seriously? And get out of here, invaders. And he basically even puts like fucking ICE, like the ICE emblem on a rocket, and he's like promoting fucking ICE. It's like, dude, what the fuck are you doing, dude? Seriously, don't get me wrong. I've noticed over the last like couple of months, the few things that have shown up my feed, it seemed like he was definitely slipping towards that. He'd defend Trump, but he'd do it in a way that he could kind of back out of it. But I guess he finally just went full on fucking mega, But here's the thing: mega's easy to make money off of. Like if all you care about is making money and you don't care about burning bridges and what people think about you, and you have literally no morals whatsoever, and all you care about is the money, going after mega isn't a bad idea, because mega is super gullible. All you have to do is say that you're racist, sexist, and homophobic, and claim that America is God's chosen people. And if you do that, then suddenly people are throwing money at you, because they're like, look, he's speaking the truth. Look, he's just like us, a racist just like us. And everybody starts chucking that Nazi money around. And it's like, sadly, that does take a lot of content creators when they're at their, wit's end. Who knows? Maybe he was like completely broke and he couldn't make his rent. And he's like, fuck it, I got nowhere else to go but to do this. But still, it doesn't excuse it. It doesn't excuse it. No matter what bad situation I was in, I would never turn to that. Melanie in the quartering reacted to the video thinking it was hilarious. Oh, I think I think I banned the quartering a very long time ago. I actually knew him for a little while, and then back when he actually tried to be fair on issues, and there was a time where he was like, I didn't agree with him on a lot of stuff, but he was. But then he got that mega money thing too, where he just liked the fame and the power he got by embracing that fucking mega psychopathic bullshit. Let's see here. Yeah, he's not even showing up at all. So yeah, I definitely banned him then. Yeah, it's weird. It doesn't even show up in search. Boy, I must have hyper banned his ass. But yeah, that's too bad. They're not the only ones either, and they won't be the last. But I don't do that. Like, I don't associate with people that pull that shit. Melanie, Melanie's ex left her. Good. Why would you want to be with somebody like that? Like, Melanie went full on racist, like full on Nazi racist, like embracing it hard. And now Tobuscus is like right on her fucking, jock. And it's sad. It's sad to see these people just completely fucking fly their Nazi flag. Like, they're in a point where they're like, you know what? We're at a crossroads right here. I'm going to just sell out everything and fuck over everybody and show that I have no morals and that I have nothing, no ethics. I'm just going to fucking be the most racist son of a bitch ever and try to get all that money. And even if they come out later and they're like, oh, it was all just part of the stick to get money away from them, it doesn't matter, because the damage you did by promoting that shit and pushing that shit and taking your huge audience and pushing them towards that extremism when they trusted you and they looked up to you, that's fucking horrible. Like, no amount of money justifies that, in my humble opinion. Hey, QA Library, thank you for the $2.69 Roonies. He said, can you send your internet famous AC to Europe? It's hot. Dude, my AC can barely keep up here in Washington, USA, so I don't think it'll do anything in England right now. Yeah, no, I heard about the England heat wave. Apparently your guys' like electric buses and shit are catching fire and like breaking down and stuff because of the heat. Like, I guess nothing in Europe is like really designed. I shouldn't say Europe, say like specifically like England. I know the buildings in England and the architecture in England, they're all designed to hold heat in. Like small windows, thick insulation, thick walls, like everything's designed to keep heat in. So not a lot of people have air conditioning because usually most of the time they're trying to keep the heat in, not trying to get the heat out. And so apparently it's creating a really dangerous situation over there where a lot of people are dying from heat stroke and stuff like that. It's really fucking terrible, man. And then combine that with the massive natural disaster that just happened in Venezuela, and now Trump's trying to capitalize on that shit. Like, leave it to him to take a natural disaster that kills and hurts thousands of people and try to grift on that shit. Like, only a person like him could pull that. Seriously. Fucking disgusting. Oh, is it really humid over there too? Oh, I can't stand humidity. I can honestly live with heat to a certain degree. I don't like heat either, but over humidity, I'll take it any day. Seriously. I remember when I went to Florida to get married. Oh my God. I walked out of the airport and I felt like I jumped into a swimming pool. Like, it was actually hard. Like, the air was thick. I felt like I was breathing water. It was crazy. And then the limo driver, this is when I went to get married. So a limo came to pick us up at the airport, and my limo driver gets out, and it's like a 350-pound black dude with full on suit, head to toe, undershirt, everything. Not a drop of sweat on him. I'm sitting there in shorts and a t-shirt, and I am soaking to the bone. And I'm like, I even told him I was sorry for getting in his car because I was so drenched in sweat. We all were. And it's like, I had to get into this limo. So we were all like taking, any clothes we couldn't, put them behind our backs and stuff, so we didn't get sweat all over the seats and stuff. It was bad. We were not acclimated at all. We literally took off and it was freezing cold and we had to have jackets on, and then we landed and it was like super fucking hot and humid. It was wild. It was wild. I couldn't handle it. Could not handle it. Hey, DeWolf's Den, thank you for that $5 earlier, man. Super appreciate that. He said, I'm looking forward to seeing Jerry with his rants in his pants. Love to see you live and kicking. I love to be live and kicking because you guys know I'm not the religious type. I'm about as atheist as they come. So when I'm done, I'm done. But you guys know I also do have some theories on, I don't remember what it was like to be alive before I was alive. So I'm pretty sure that after I'm dead, it's just going to be the same thing as before I was alive. Just no memory of anything. Like, even if 1 billion years goes by before I rearrange myself into some other kind of life form that can think and do stuff, even if it's 1 trillion years down the road, I'm not going to notice. I'm not going to know. I've probably already had 1 billion lifetimes before this is various different objects and shit. At least my material, my matter, and my energy always existed since the beginning of the universe. So, and they'll always exist after I'm dead. They're just constantly changing and morphing and degrading and moving between energy and moving between matter back and forth, because you can't destroy it, right? So the way I see it is, I've been forever and I'll be forever. But the memories that I build in the experience of being this person right now, when I die, that ends. Like, that just goes away. I know it seems a little bleak, but if you looked at it from my point of view, it's actually kind of relaxing. Because you're like, you don't have the stress of having to like go to heaven and be bossed around by God and have to meet all your relatives that you didn't like and fucking hang out with them. And you can't do anything. You can't masturbate because God will, shame you for it because you're an angel now and you shouldn't touch your angel wiener. That's a lot of stress. That's a lot of stress to spend an eternity under this, like, this religious legal force, depending on which religion you believe. They all have rules in heaven, right? It's like, I like the idea of just, I don't got to worry about nothing. I just don't exist anymore. Or I do exist just as other things. And I just keep existing as other things until eventually I exist as another thinking, breathing thing down the road. Who knows? Maybe not even a thinking, breathing thing. Maybe it's just a conscious fucking ball of gas. You just never know. It could be anything. For all I know, I'm all of you and you're all me. Like for all we know, we're all just cells in one giant hive being that is the planet Earth. And on some level, when we live and die, it's like cells in your body, you know, splitting and dying off and splitting and dying off. You can look at it from all kinds of different ways. But yeah, anyways, that's how I prefer to look at it that way. I prefer to look at it that way than to be under some kind of eternal rule where a bunch of dudes that could read and write because they were rich and corrupt back in the day got to tell everybody, you know, what was in the book and got to choose what was in the book, right? Every single organized religion, doesn't matter which one it is, everything in that book was picked by the richest and most privileged people without anybody else having a say in it. So, of course, that's why every single religion still to this day seems to benefit men over women, like just universally across the board. Man greater than woman in all Abrahamic religions across the board. It's just it's crazy to think. It's like, well, okay, back then women weren't allowed to read and write, right? I mean, everything that was taught to them was like from the person who could read and write, which you had to be privileged to be able to do that. You had to be wealthy or chosen or have connections. So it's like everything you learned and all the rules that were pushed down on you, indoctrinated you, were from the people in places of power and dominion over you. So fast forward to today, that's not the case, but we still act like it is, right? We still act like the book is the stand-in and replacement for those people that used to have dominion over us. But now we just see it as an invisible force where only the person wearing the robes and standing above you in whatever church you go to, whatever their interpretation is, that's what you have to believe. And whatever they say God is trying to say to you, that's what you have to believe, because you have no ability to talk to God, but only they can because they're prophets. You know, it's just, I don't know. It seems shady. And to be fair, I was religious for 20 years of my life. Half my family's Mormon. The other half is Christian. Got a couple Catholics mixed in there too. But it all stems from Christianity. QA Liveiter said, best news possible. Cycling, most prestigious races have a new free-to-air home on 5. Tour de France starts Saturday, 4th of July. So Sky with the paywall given up. Oh, there's not going to be a paywall so anybody can watch it? That's kind of cool. So I heard a rumor that like with the Tour de France and stuff, like when Lance Armstrong got caught doping, like 80% of the field was caught doping after that. Like it turns out Lance Armstrong wasn't the only one doping. Like everybody was doping. He just had the most sophisticated doping program. So it's kind of interesting, you know. Gaming Matty Rock said, Barnacules, when you talked about this week on the temple for the LDS, you don't need to be perfect nor 100% pure. You don't need to be perfect nor 100% pure. What do you mean? What do you mean, Gaming Matty Rocks? I don't follow. Are you talking about like the Mormonism, like the terrestrial and the celestial and all the different levels of heaven that you get into? I mean, technically, you can have people testify for you against your will, even after you're dead, to like get you into Mormon super heaven. But at any rate, and I'm sure several people in my family have already done that, because like I said, half my family's Mormon and they all think I'm demon, so I'm sure that they've all testified for me many times over. Or maybe they didn't. Maybe I'll get lucky because they don't really like me that much. My cousins like me, but my dad's brother, my uncle, he doesn't like me too much, and he's a bishop in the church. Who, by the way, left his family for a year and a half to go to Vegas to live with a dude because he said he was gay, and he left the church and he went and did that for a year and a half, and then he came back and the church just gave him his position back, and his wife just took him back after that. And I was like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, because he owned a landscaping business and he's literally worth like a lot of money. Like my uncle, he's a millionaire, not a big M, but a little M millionaire. So the church was like, oh, of course you can come on back. Like, if you've got money in the Mormon church, you can do drugs, grab hookers, do whatever you want. And you just give the temple money, go in there and talk to the higher ups who like that you tithe so much money to the church. And they just go, you know what? You just do this, this, and this, and your record's clean, and you can go back to being a Boy Scout leader. You know, it's like, it's fucking weird, man. It's not my thing. Oh, you're talking about the LDS temple to go into the temple? Well, no, you have to have a card to get into the temple. Unless you're talking about some Mormon sect that's unlike the one that my half of my family's a part of. My half of the family, you have to have a card to enter the temple, and if you do something that's a violation of the rules, then you get your temple card pulled and you have to earn it back. So technically, I could argue that yes, that does mean you have to be perfect, because if you do not follow the rules of the temple, you're banned from it. And not just anybody can go into the temple. Like, I couldn't go into the temple. I'm not allowed in the temple. I don't even have a pair of Jesus jammies. Hey, networking guy, what's up, dude? Last Tech Talk before your birthday? Well, happy early birthday, my friend. Happy early birthday. Can you say how old you're going to be? I'm curious. What's up, Tech Chef? You said, do you think that Jesus was a person way back when? Maybe a prophet, but definitely not a god. Oh, Jesus absolutely existed. Like, don't get me wrong. Jesus existed. And the reason we know Jesus existed is it's scientific. Like, we know that Jesus Christ existed because he's not just observed from the religion that invented him. He was actually observed from even the opposing religions that thought he was a bad guy and that he was an imposter. Remember, the Jews thought he was a fake, thought he was not the Son of God, right? So, whereas all these stem from Old Testament, right? They all, at that point in time, before everything diverged and Jesus Christ came along, the whole New Testament thing happened. Everybody was basically on the same page of Old Testament from Abrahamic religion standpoint, right? It's like there was a point where it's like Islam, Judaism, and Christianity were all on the same page, believed in the same God, followed the same basic like manuscript, but then it diverged. And the reason we know that Jesus was real is because they wouldn't have acknowledged this guy's existence outside of that religion from the people that are against it and don't believe it and don't like it. They wouldn't have a record that's matching of the same description of the same person who was, you know, arguably doing the same things, whether they believed it or not. But there's so many accounts that this person existed and he had a big enough impact that a lot of people, both opposing that liked him and disliked him, were aware of his existence and you know, kept records of it. So yeah, Jesus Christ absolutely existed, but he was just a regular man. In my opinion, he was just a regular man. There was nothing special about him. I do believe that he was more than likely indoctrinated from a child to believe that he was the Son of God and think that he had a mission. And I believe that that mission was propped up by the church for their own benefit, so they used him as a pawn. And I believe he truly believed in his head that he was special. Like, I mean, if you indoctrinate somebody from birth to think that they're special and they're Son of God, unless they trust you from birth, like they're not gonna just suddenly go, oh, I don't believe you. It's like if you, in the support system that you raise them around, that you keep them indoctrinated into, you keep telling them the same things, they're going to believe it. Like that's how religion, that's why you indoctrinate religion into people when they're children and don't wait until they're adults and have a full education and like understand things like physics and science and scientific method before you introduce them to that. It just wouldn't work as well. You have to do it at a young age where it's like everything that you say to them is accepted as truth. Like there's no reason to question it. Like when I was a kid, my mom told me that when there was thunder and lightning, that I shouldn't be afraid of it because it's just God bowling in heaven. Because my grandpa and I, we loved bowling when I was a kid. So she's like, oh, I'll just tell him that God's bowling in heaven. And that's what thunder and lightning is, hitting the pins. And I fully bought it. I believed that for years and years and years and years before I finally put it together. That, oh, okay, they're pulling my string. And then they confirmed it when I finally confronted them. But I did believe it for a long time. And it did ease my fear of thunder and lightning because I'm like, oh, it's just God up there playing bowling. That's not going to hurt me. But let's just say, hypothetically speaking, I got away from my parents and then there's a thunder and lightning storm and I start running around in a field, you know, thinking that, oh, it's not going to hurt me because it's just God playing bowling. And then if the bolt of lightning comes down and hits me and kills me, they'd probably feel pretty bad about making me think that there was no danger, you know? So actually one of the dead giveaways was they told me it was just God bowling. But then when I did want to go outside and watch it, they'd be like, ooh, that's not safe. You got to stay inside. It's like, why would it not be safe? You just told me that it's safe because it's God bowling. It's not actually lightning. But anyways, it's like growing up, I distinctly remember believing in Santa Claus. I remember believing in the Easter Bunny. I mean, I equally believed in all these things. Jesus, the Easter Bunny, Santa Claus, all the things that were introduced to me at a young age and indoctrinated into me. I never questioned it. I believed it because it came from the people that I trusted. All of my family members stuck with that narrative. And so I believed it. There's no reason not to. And then what happens is you grow up after trusting your whole family and all the people that you trust. And then you start encountering people in life that are new people that you don't trust yet, that you don't have a rapport with. And then they're like, that wasn't true. And you're like, no, it was. Like, you just don't understand. And sadly, a lot of people never break out. I mean, there's still a lot of adults that really believe that, you know, Santa Claus is real. There's a, you know, it's true. Gaming Matter Rock said you get a card, doing an interview for it, but you could lie. I have done it when I was younger. We still can sin and be able to get into the temple. There's just a few things like being trans that won't. That's kind of a big one, though. So again, being trans in their eyes makes you imperfect. Therefore, you don't get to go into the church. You don't get to go into the temple. So, and that's sad. And honestly, Gaming Matty Rocks, this is a great example of what I'm talking about. You are defending a religion that you were raised in, that literally persecutes you, won't allow you in the temple, won't allow you to be around children, disagrees with who you are at a fundamental level that you don't control. It's who you are. It's what God made. And they question all that, and they hold you as lesser and give you lesser rights, and yet you still defend them, and you still say, and that's exactly it. That's what a religion does. Organized religion, indoctrinated, is you will defend it no matter what. You will feel bad for violating things in that religion if you follow it. You know, it's just, I don't know. I don't like it. And to be fair, I'm not just picking on Mormonism. I'm picking on all organized religion. I don't care what it is. It can be Judaism, it can be Islam, it can be Christianity, Catholicism, Mormonism. They all stem, if you go back far enough, they all believe in the same God from the same Old Testament. They just diverge. Whereas like Mormonism diverges way late. Mormonism's the newest of like all the Abrahamic religions that exist still today, right? A lot of them started and died. But Mormonism, I think, is only like 200 years old, a little over 200 years old. So if that, maybe approaching 200 years, I have to go look to be sure. But sometime in the 1800s, Joseph Smith, did the whole plate thing. Then the plates got lost. We had to get new plates and tell the new story. You guys know all the, it's like you literally go through and logically it explains that he was just taking advantage of people, and he was just using other people to gain his own power and to do his own things. And it's sad that developed and kept developing after he died, and people kept picking up the torch and running with it because they had a group of people that were indoctrinated into it, and they didn't want to lose that momentum. They just kept it going. And now here we are today, and people are, going into the temple and wearing their little green aprons with their Jesus jammies and their little weird cooking hats and doing ceremonies and anointing ceremonies, putting their hands through and touching parts of the body and giving you a special name and stuff. And it's all designed just like in Christianity, they do baptism. And I mean, every religion has like their own rituals, but it's to tie you and make you feel like you have a special connection and obligation to the church and make you fear breaking that. So it creates the pageantry to make sure that you, your family support system, and the church work together to all keep yourselves in line benefiting the church. But the whole Mormonism tithing thing is ridiculous, though. 10% of your paycheck to the church. Remember, you're not giving it to God. You're not giving it to Jesus. You're giving it to a church, literally one of the richest churches in the world, even though it has like one of the smallest, groups of people out of all the Christian denominations. It's like the smallest believed in, yet they have the most money and they have the most land holdings. But you guys know me. Hey, I love talking about organized religion. Like I said, I was a Christian for about 20 years of my life, and enough bad stuff happened in a row that it finally broke my fear of God. Because I was like, if God was real, there's no way that these events could happen. Like, not even my mom's priest could explain them in any kind of rational way that even if it was me as a believer could understand. And that made me feel free to go investigate, because every religion also has a built-in clause. Doesn't matter if it's Mormonism, doesn't matter if it's Christianity, Catholicism, Judaism. Every single one of them has something built in that says that it's blasphemy to even question the religion, to even investigate other religions, like seriously, and seriously take into consideration that the religion may not be real, or maybe fake, or maybe exploitive. You're not allowed to. Like, it's literally punishable by like straight to hell, or whatever the version of hell, or some kind of horrible punishment is associated with that. And it's to keep you from going and learning about other stuff that then devalues the things that you used to believe because they're less plausible now because you have new frames of reference, right? And all religions do it. Again, it's not just Mormonism. Every one of them does it. Hey, what's up, Jim? How's it going, brother? It's good to see you. Jim Browning in the house. Woo! Hey, Altonian, thank you for the 5 pounds, dude. Super appreciate it, man. He said, fanboys ruin everything, whether it be religion, fantasy, sci-fi, or amazing digital circus. Or the amazing digital circus. I agree. I don't know about the amazing digital circus. I don't really know what you meant by that. But yeah, you're absolutely right. Fanboys do tend to ruin everything. And hyper-religious folks are definitely fanboys. But I will tell you this. The people that are higher up in all the religions don't actually believe it. Because in order for them to take a place of prophecy and to call themselves a prophet and to wield that power to judge others when they themselves aren't judged, For them to be able to do that, they're already saying that they know more than God. And by them saying God chose them when clearly they didn't, because God doesn't talk to them any more than anybody else. They just say he does. And because they do that, that by default makes them untrustworthy. So so that's, in church, it's like the higher up people that benefit from the flock growing and more money and resources and manpower being attributed to that church, helping that church and growing it, where the benefactors at the top always get the most. You can't trust them. You really can't trust them. But I do want to qualify something. While I'm sitting here bashing on organized religion, I do want to say this. I think if you believe in a God, you should have a relationship with your God. But you shouldn't have a middleman. Don't get middlemen. Middlemen just come in and just drain all the profit out of everything. Look at it realistically. Anything that God created you, literally built you. It doesn't matter what religion you believe, God built you. One way or another, you got built by your God. So just talk to your God. If your God doesn't respond, then you have your answer. If your God does respond, you have your answer. But talk to the God directly. Do not let a middleman interpret what God wants for you, or create words and create stories, or keep reiterating and reinterpreting stories of old and changing things to keep you on a path that keeps benefiting them while you're getting screwed. It's like, no, talk to your own God. And if the church says, oh, you can't do that because you're not a prophet or you're not a bishop or you don't have the proper training to understand, neither do you guys. Neither did the people before you, all the way back to the first people that ever put pen to paper, all the way back to the Sumerians. There was a point where nobody had any idea who God was. Somebody had to eventually talk to a God, and clearly different people talked to different gods, and those different gods said they're the one true religion. But you notice how every single one of them that's the discovering person that had most of the influence in creating the rules of the religion also were the people that lived the most extravagant life with the most power and the most wealth? It's fucked up. I'm just saying. Hey, J Miller Design. So I'm not saying don't be religious. I'm just saying talk to your God. If you're into Judaism, Islam, Christianity, just try it once. Just be like, listen, I'm just going to entertain the idea that I can talk to God directly because he's my creator. He's capable of doing anything. He could respond to me if he wanted to. If he wants me to do something, he wants me on a different path, then why am I doing the thing I'm doing right now? Ask yourself that without taking into consideration like what the church has told you or what the church's interpreter or what the church is trying to get you and everybody else to do and fall into line. Ask directly. And if God's silent, he's cool with it. Because if he's talking to them and he's not talking to you, then clearly they need to hear something more than you do. There's something more wrong with them that needs to be corrected. If God's being quiet and you're like, hey, am I doing anything wrong? And he's like, no answer. Well, and those guys are getting talked to. Those are the guys that need the correction, not you. Oh, 100% Dav. Yeah, he said they're all con men. Olstein, Falwell, Jim Jones, Popoff, Peter Popoff. You left out, what's his name? Kenneth Copeland. Kenneth Copeland's like one of the worst of all times. Kenneth Copeland is literally like the Donald Trump religion guy. Dumb as a rock, super low IQ, has 9 Gulfstream jets, is worth over $100 million. And the dude is basically Satan. Like, he literally even looks like Satan. Like, you can tell that the dude is so fucking evil in what he does. And he doesn't believe a single goddamn thing that he does, that he even emotes without even realizing it, like a look of the devil. Like, he literally looks what you'd expect, like, the emissary of a devil to be. And yet people still listen to him and still follow him and still hang on to his every word, hand him his money. People die every week. Somebody dies from throwing their medication away because he told them to. Or they gave him the money for rent and they got kicked out of their house because he said that their seed would be met with, tenfold, and it didn't happen. And when it doesn't happen, he just kicks them out of the church and just tells everybody that they're liars if they say anything. That's sad. That guy should be put in prison. It's sad that our system protects people like that. They shouldn't be protected. Gaming Matter Rock said we pay 10% so we can help people in Africa. That's bullshit. National disasters, bullshit. Clean up cities, bullshit. We also use it to help missionaries. Not really. The missionaries pay their own way. 10% helps to upkeep the buildings. No, way more than 10% helps to upkeep the buildings. And we use it to help the poor and needy. Nope, all bullshit. Gaming Matty Rocks, respectfully, it's all bullshit. If we're talking about Salt Lake City, if you look at the money invested in the properties, the libraries, the amount of money used for buying artifacts and buying back artifacts of the church, sweeping things under the rug, the money and payment that goes to the prophets and the upper things. No, it's not the most of the money is going to help other people. Not even close. As a matter of fact, as a missionary, you pay roughly $400 or $500 a month to pay your own way on a mission. You have to pay your own way on your mission. And then that money ultimately subsidizes your education, but only if you go to Brigham Young University after your mission. Otherwise, you have to pay your way through school too. So it's like they make it look like you get a free education, but no, you're really paying for your mission and also paying for the education that follows after if you choose to go to Brigham Young. So the Mormon church would like you to think that they're doing all those great things and they're helping people in Africa. No, the people in Africa that they're helping are the people that they're trying to convert into the Mormon church. They have a high motivation to do that. But no, the vast majority of the money in the Mormon church absolutely does not go out to help people. The Mormon church would not be the single richest religion, like literally on the books. On the books, there's submitted revenue forms. They have more revenue and capital than any other religion, including the Vatican, the fucking Vatican, for crying out loud. They have more money sitting in a bank account. If that money is sitting in a bank account, that means by its nature, it is not being spent to help other people. It's being used and hoarded by the church to give them power to buy property, to buy influence, to hide things and put them under the rug. But I'm sure they tell everybody internally that they use this shit to like help everybody. We also do services for free, not for money. We help those to get a job as well. So you help non-Mormons that reject the church outright. Refuse to go, refuse to exercise Mormonism, refuse to listen to the word. You help them get jobs and you don't put any pressure on them or try to educate them in the church or try to bring them into the church or try to invite them into the church. You just purely altruistically just go grab random people off, like homeless people off the street and just get them jobs and never ask them to join the church. Never try to set them up to tithe 10% to the church in the end. You know what? Maybe a handful of people? Sure. But is that the regular course of action? No, because if it was, all that money that's sitting in their bank account right now would be spent for stuff like that, and it's not. But again, it's like again, Gaming Matty Rocks. You are defending a church that actively says that because you're trans, you're not allowed to be around kids. And because you're trans, you're not allowed to enter the temple of your religion, which is literally like a sign of being like closer to the religion and closer to God and being like more deserving of the celestial temple or the celestial kingdom, the high one or whatever. Why are you defending that? Like, what logical sense do you have to defend that? When the church has literally changed its stance and rewrote its entire fucking foundation to get rid of all of Joseph Smith's original stuff, like polygamy was a big thing with Joseph Smith and Brigham Young. Now the church acts like that shit never happened. Like they just rewrite their religion to make it align with government and law anytime they have to remain compatible and to keep on making money. Otherwise, if they started breaking the law, that would be a problem. But at any rate, I understand. I do understand because to be fair, I have people in my family that have been completely screwed over and grifted by the church. And not just the Mormon church, but even on the Christian side, they've been taken advantage of. And I look at that shit in absolute disgust. And I'm like, I try to talk to him and I try to, hey, look at this logically, like write it down. Here's a pros and cons column. Here's the thing. What is more likely? Is it more likely this is happening or is it more likely that they're being honest about God telling them that you should give the church money or do stuff for the church? And they still just, nope, faith. Faith means to believe in something with absolutely no evidence. The less something makes sense, the more you should believe in it, and everything's a test. It's actually really clever. That's why every Abrahamic religion has the word faith in it. Like, faith is literally the locking principle that is indoctrinated into everybody, including me in Christianity, growing up. The second that your faith wavers, like you start looking into other religions, or you start to question if your religion is right. These are all things that are like, oh, your faith is wavering. God is going to punish you for your faith wavering. You're going to have misfortune because of your faith wavering. That's fucked up. Like, that's fucked up. Why do they get to tell you? Why does another human being get to judge you and tell you what God wants from you, or who is the righteous and who isn't? What fucking right do they have to do that? You're all created as equals. Unless God comes down himself and says that this is my manager, you need to listen to him. You have no logical reason to believe a single fucking word that person says, because they benefit from controlling you. So that already just makes that whole relationship awkward. But people sadly can't see. To be fair, I couldn't either. For like 20 years, I still drank the Kool-Aid, man. Like I could even see shit was wonky and weird. And as soon as I did, I was like, oh shit, I don't want God to punish me. So I better, fall back on my faith and just believe harder. But like I said, everybody has a limit, and I found mine. But sadly, some people never get to experience what it's like to be free of that burden. Zeno Crimson said Satan might just be the guy who questioned religion. I know, right? As a matter of fact, like if you read the Bible, like if you read Old Testament, right? Like before the New Covenant, God does an awful lot of really wicked and horrible things. And what does Satan do? He tells some people to eat some fruit. like the own book itself that's supposed to make God look like the powerful creator of everything and his chosen people and smite everybody else and fucking rape and pillage and take everything. This is like pre-Jesus, right? Like that's the God that still to this day exists. Just New Testament for Christians and Mormons with their amendment to New Testament, the Book of Mormon or the 5-book series or whatever, just amends that. Right? It's like, if it's not in here, believe this. If it's not in here, believe this. It becomes very confusing and very entangled. But at the same time, it's like, come on. Why are there so many religions? If there's one God and he can come down and talk to these pastors and be like, or these prophets and say, you're the prophet, lead the people to this religion. Why is he going and telling another group to lead people away to a different religion? And why is he telling another group to lead people away to another religion? And why is that every single one of these groups, the prophets that get chosen are the rich and wealthy people that want power, that are clearly power hungry and use their power to try to control the people and shame them and punish them for trying to leave or question the church? That makes no sense. If there was a God, there would just be a God. If there was multiple gods, there'd be multiple gods. They would actually physically come down and talk and say, hey, listen, guys, you need to listen to my boys over here, right? Because there's a lot of scammers out there. As a matter of fact, it's funny. The Bible even says that every man sins. Basically, you shouldn't trust every man. There's wolves in sheep clothing. Don't trust people that have idols and false prophets. Basically, people that put on fancy clothes and fancy hats and pretend to be emissaries of God. It literally says don't believe them. They're all fucking scammers. And yet everybody just ignores that part of their Bible and just, it'll be all right. It'll be all right. My parents said that this guy is cool, and their parents said this guy was cool, and the guy before him, their parents said it was cool because they all were raised in this church. They were all indoctrinated in this church. Every one of them got their little, whether they got their wiener cut off or whether they got drowned in water or whether they got, the whole baptism thing, whether they get, testified for or have like some kind of religious ceremony at a certain coming of age or whatever. It's all designed to tie you to the church, to make you physically feel bound and indebted to that church, not to the God. They use God as the reason, right? God is the invisible power that they use behind the scenes. But at the end of the day, it is just really, these are all just businesses. These are all for-profit businesses that have huge financial holdings and use those financial holdings to spread and grow the population to amass more wealth. Do some of them do some good things every once in a while? Sure. There's always exceptions for certain things. Like, hey, I'm sure even maybe there's a Mormon church out there that actually does go and help homeless people on the street, and they don't ask them to come to church. They don't testify for their soul. They don't try to get them to come in. They don't want anything from them. They just completely and altruistically just say, listen, I'm not going to tell you I'm a Mormon. I am just out of the kindness of my heart. I'm just going to take this money out of this thing, and I'm going to go get you cleaned up. I'm going to get you a house. I'm going to get you a job, and I'm going to ask nothing in return. Zero. Does that happen? Sure. But I guarantee you it doesn't happen a lot. It doesn't happen a lot. Because just like any business, they would go broke so fucking fast if they used all their money to help people without any expectation of them joining the church and either providing manpower, physical numbers of growth, right, to give them more voting power, or to actually bring resources through tithing and donations to the church. James Janus said, regardless, religion, what is your stance on Sharia law and how some places are banning it? It's awesome. Fucking ban Sharia law. Sharia law is stupid. Sharia law is the dumbest shit ever. A woman is what, 3/4 of a man or something? Like her word is 3/4 of a man? Fuck that noise. Like, I'm done with that. That whole system of punishment that is completely and totally illegal here in the United States, like literally violates our federal law. No, sorry. Religion needs boundaries. Do we have freedom of religion? Yes. Should you be able to have freedom of religion? And should it be your right to follow a religion, even though it's manipulating you and fucking with you and taking shit away from your life and ultimately hurting you? Like, sure. Freedom of religion allows you to go down that path. It even allows other people to manipulate you to go down that path. And if you choose to be manipulated and you can't escape it, there's still an avenue for freedom of religion to let you keep doing that. But when it starts allowing shit to happen that violates actual federal law and leads to the actual like death and like physical harm of other people outside of the justice system, because remember, religious law does not follow like evidence, right? Religions are the furthest thing from evidence driven. Like, they're like, is that guy guilty? Yeah, that guy over there said he was guilty, and that guy's high in society, so we're just going to believe him. That lady over there said she was raped, but we need 4 women to say that they were raped because they don't have enough value as a single woman to actually even look into it. No, fuck that shit. That's why we have a legal system. That's why we have a jury of peers. That's why we have a system of judges and an appeal process and everything like that. Is it perfect? Fuck no, not by any stretch of the imagination. But is it designed to try to be as fair as you can in a corrupt ass world with a bunch of corrupt ass people? Yeah, it is. Let's see here. My wife is only 3/4 of me when she won't let me go to McDonald's because we have groceries at home. You're like, damn it, you're 3/4 of a woman because you didn't let me get a Big Mac. I mean, honestly, that even has more logic to it than what, Sharia law would say. No, here's the thing. Do I think that religion, they should have their own, everybody should be able to believe whatever they want. Like, just because I'm saying that I don't believe this shit anymore and I'm citing my evidence and I'm saying that it's all fucking, bull hockey, doesn't mean you're going to stop believing. I mean, shit, your entire life you've been indoctrinated into something, then if you change that, it's a massive change. Like, you feel like you wasted all that time. And I understand why, because of that investment, you want to protect that investment. It's the same reason why people still support Trump when he does the exact opposite of what they voted for him to do. And they even do stuff to actively harm him. They're like, oh, we've lost our family and our friends and we've done everything. We've worn our racism on our sleeve. We've done everything we can to push everybody away from us. And now Trump's all we got left. So we just ride or die, even though he's fucking everything up. Just ride or die, because you can't dare starting over and admitting you're wrong because you're just too deep in. Same thing what happens with religion, not just politicians, sadly, But here's the thing. Everybody can believe what they want. Even gaming Matty rocks. I mean, you are freedom of religion, man. Like, one of the beauties of this country is like you have that freedom. No matter what I say, you can believe in the Mormon church. No matter how much they persecute you, you can keep going back for more. If that's what you feel like you need to do, and that's what you feel like is right, you have the freedom to do that. But I also have the freedom to give my opinion. And that's what I'm doing. Like, that's me. It's like my freedom of religion is to reject it. And specifically organized religion. I'm not saying don't have religion. I'm not saying don't have a relationship with your creator. For instance, me, I do have a creator. My creator's the universe. Every atom that's in my body right now, every single molecule, every single chemical combination and makeup inside of my body existed as that or something else before it was arranged in this order. It all existed as either energy or matter or some other form. It decayed into what it is today. So I've always existed. It's just, this is my new arrangement. So my religion is, my God is the universe. And my God chooses to bring me into existence as this particular thing at this particular time for this particular span of time. And then it's time for me to be something else. Just like I was something else before, I'll be something else after. So, and that's my thing. And the thing is, if everybody just had a direct relationship with their God and said, just generic creator, I'm going to sit down and figure you out. And they come up with their own way to speak to them. They come up with their own way to investigate and gather information. I think that would be ideal. I think, honestly, it'd solve a lot of the world's problems, because a lot of the world's problems and wars and pain and suffering and everything is all done in the name of gods. And usually it's the same God, just different interpretations of the same God across multiple people. It's like, this one believes it took 7 days instead of 6 days. This one over here believes that women are like half a man. This one over here still believes Old Testament, not New Testament. They all still believe in the same relative God. They just all kind of forked off into their own denominations, So believe what you want, don't force it on anybody else, and don't hurt anybody. That's my thing. And here's the thing. The second that churches hurt people, and they all do, every single church causes harm. I've yet to find a single organized church. Some cause more than others, but they all cause harm to individuals in some way, shape, or form. Literally by saying, by you being born, you're a sinner. And by God creating you, you pop out immediately as a bad person. And your entire life has to be atonement for just being born. I call that fucked up. That makes zero sense to me. The only reason that makes sense is if I'm creating a religion that is designed to use fear to indoctrinate children growing into adults before they enter society and to be tightly bound to a religion and unwilling to entertain anything else out of fear. And that's what every organized religion does, is they do that indoctrination. Because if they didn't, think about how few religions would exist today at the levels that they're at worldwide if religion was only introduced as an adult. So you're raised as a child, you're taught to read, you're taught to write, you're taught mathematics, you're taught science, geography, all those things. And then when you graduate from, say, the equivalent of, let's say, high school, not even college, just high school, then religions are laid out in front of you. Which religion, this is the one we believe, but here's the other ones. Here's all the religions, here's the differences, look at them all. And we'd prefer if you followed this one like we do, but look at them all and tell me which one you think you should follow. If they did that, we would have a vastly different society today. Because the sad thing is every religion tries to increase their numbers and tries to grow outward from their center point, pushing everything else out. Because it's all about getting power. And in the United States, power is the number of people, because that gives you voting power, the resources that you can amass from those people, and those resources that you can use to lobby the government and use to use corruption to your advantage to give your church more ability to hang on to more money and to accrue more money through nefarious means. So, but here's the thing. Do I really, am I so vain as to think me saying this stuff is going to just make everybody in here go, oh, fuck, he's right. Fuck religion. Like, I'm done with organized religion. No, I'm not thinking that at all. Honestly, the amount of time that was put into indoctrinating me into Christianity, it took 20 years for me to break free. For 20 years, I was a true believer. Like, I literally believed that God could throw a lightning bolt down and fry me if I did the wrong thing. I literally, and here's the thing, in Christianity and Islam and Judaism, to love God is to fear God. Love and fear are interchangeable terms. How can you love something that can create and destroy you if you even remotely go off the path that their book and the person reading that book to you says that it's designed for you? That's fucking harmful. I'm sorry, but that's harmful. That's gonna scare people into staying in church. Like I said, I was scared shitless when I started entertaining the idea of leaving the Christian church. I was like, that fucking scared me. And my family wasn't even that hardcore Christian. I mean, they were definitely Christian, but they didn't go to church every Sunday or anything like that. But they were definitely Christian. The Bible was definitely read to me as a child in our house. We had the King James Bible growing up, right? We didn't even have New International back then. But yeah, no, even though we weren't like huge churchgoers and everything like that, no, everybody in my family and my immediate orbit, all my friends, all their parents and their kids, everybody was a part of the same religion. And so everybody believed the same things. All the kids were indoctrinated with the same information, and outside sources of different information was highly guarded against, so that we wouldn't have options, or we wouldn't. And if we had questions, the questions were always stemmed with, you got to have faith. If there was any unanswerable question, like, no, I don't believe it, that doesn't make sense. It's like, well, this is God testing your faith. Well, that can answer anything. That's the yes, no, or maybe gallon of jug milk, best illusion in the world YouTube video that I love so much, right? It's like, if you prayed a gallon of milk for stuff, it's always going to answer with yes, no, or maybe. And so that gallon of milk will give you the exact same answers that God will give you. Exact same. You have the exact same probability. Can I get a promotion at work tomorrow? You go to work. You don't get a promotion. You're like, okay, well, God said no, so there's a reason. He's not ready for me to have a promotion yet. Okay, maybe. Your boss is like, oh, I'm considering you for promotion. Oh, God gave me a maybe. Or you go and you get promoted that day when you go and ask for a promotion when you work up the nerve. And it's like, oh, God got me that promotion, even though it was the person that gave you the promotion because they thought you deserved it when you asked for it. Or they just gave it to you. You know, it's the same thing when you pray for the food that's on your plate. You're like, oh, God, thank you for this meal that's in front of me. It's like, well, what about the people that don't have meals? What about the kids that are starving and they're going to die tomorrow because they have no access to any food or drinkable water? Why isn't God putting food on their table? You know, it's that whole God only helps people that help themselves. That's another trend that seems to go throughout all religion. It's like, okay, well, if you help yourself, you don't need help. If I can help myself, I don't need somebody else to help me. I need somebody to help me because I can't help myself. So when I'm saying thank you, God, for the food on my plate, when it was literally purchased by my dad who worked really hard, and that food was literally harvested by people that worked really hard, and a bunch of money changed hands all the way up the chain to when the shit was first planted, that entire chain of command, I owe all of those people from soup to nuts for the food that's on the plate there. Every one of those gets but no, it's like, oh, thank you, God, for this meal that's in front of us. It's like, yeah, but he didn't give it to you. Because if he gave it to you, then every child would get a meal and no child would starve to death. Same thing. No children would get raped and murdered, right? If God protected you and you pray to God and he answers your prayers, I'm pretty sure those kids that are getting raped and murdered, they're hoping that God won't let them get raped and murdered. And they still are. Often by members of the church that are the trusted people. You know, they use that trust in the family and the leveraged indoctrination trust to molest those children and harm those children. That's why there's such high suicide rates in a lot of churches, including the Mormon church. So, welcome to Tech Talk today, guys. we're throwing out all the topics and we're just going full on organized religion today. No, I say let's go ahead and jump on to another topic. But this is something that I am clearly passionate about, if you guys haven't noticed. I've experienced a lot of different religions since I left Christianity when I was about 20. I was 19 or 20 when I left. And I spent my entire 20s studying other religions. I kind of backed off once I got around like 26, 27. I started doing other things and getting interested in other things. So I didn't study it as much after that. But no, I was curious about all religions. I was curious. I even studied Scientology. You know, it's not even really a religion. It's just straight up a business masquerading as one. The only reason that they have tax-free status is because they bribed the government. I mean, literally, that's why. They don't qualify for any of it, and they were still approved because they amass huge amounts of money, and they use that huge amount of money to influence people into giving them shit they shouldn't have. So the way I see it is, you know, the one thing I'll tell you though is I hope that at some point, every single one of you, regardless of what religion you believe in at this moment, I hope that every single one of you, at least at one point in your life, goes and looks at the other religions, not through the lens of asking your church or asking your pastor, asking approved entities. Go out and research it on your own. Know everything, lay it out on the table, and then just for 1 second, just put faith away for a second. Just take that faith word, which makes everything automatically in favor of your church, regardless of the evidence. Set that away and seriously weigh the options against each other. And then in the end, just have a conversation with your God. Just say, you know what? I'm just going to make the assumption right now, just for a second, for purely testing purposes. Obviously, God's not going to get mad at me, because if he was, he'd come down and tell me to stop right now. He wouldn't have the church do it. They're not even aware that I'm doing it unless I tell them. So it's like, just think about it and go, you know what? I'm going to talk to God and see if you can have a conversation with God, maybe in a dream. Maybe like talk to them literally out loud, see if they respond. Talk to them in your head, use your inner monologue. Experiment around and see what you can do. And then at the end of going through and studying all that, ask yourself a question. Be like, why is the guy at the church that has more money than me, more power than me, and more influence over more people than me, why is that the guy that gets to talk to God? And why is that the guy that gets to reinterpret everything to the church's advantage and his own advantage? Why is that fair? Why do I not get to interpret it? I'm a product of God. I am equally created by God. So why do they get to say what stays and what goes and what's good and what isn't, and what you should be shunned for and what you shouldn't, and what you need to fix and what's wrong with you? If they don't like you being gay, or they don't like you being trans, or they don't like the color of your skin, like, you know, Mormonism used to say that, you know, dark skin was the sign of Cain. It literally was God flagging you as a demon. You were literally Satan. Or a disciple of Satan. And it's like, they now try to sweep that under the rug and act like it never existed. But no, that was a huge part of their church. I mean, you couldn't even be like a pastor if you were a black man for the longest time, until there was a lot of outside pressure on the church. You know, it's like that religion literally was based in racism. Like, there was no black Mormons back when there was Brigham Young and there was Joseph Smith, because their hardcore beliefs back then were those people cannot be Mormons because they're literally demons. Like, you can't overcome that. There was no path to redemption if you had dark skin, because if God wanted you to be cleansed, he'd give you white skin. By the way, if you've ever wondered why the Mormon temple's white and why everybody wears white, and white is like the color that everybody wears and everything, it's because white is pure. White, their slogan at one point was even like, what is it? Like, white is right. Not white is right, but it's like whiteful. Let me see if I can remember. It's like whitefullest. I gotta find this, because man, I just read it not too long ago. It's like, hey, what is the Mormon saying that the church used to hold but changed, that said that white people are more pure? It was like, or something. All right, let me see if AI is remarkably good at finding things with the most vague associations possible. I found it. Find a white and delightsome people. So in the Book of Mormon, the Lamanites, the Mormons, are a white and delightsome people. Now, they changed the wording of it in 1981 to be a pure and delightsome people because, of course, a white and delightsome people implied that if you have dark skin, you are not delightful. You are evil. So again, it's like gaming Maddie rocks. It's like right now they're saying that you're not allowed to go in the temple because you're trans. You're not allowed to be around kids when you're trans. Well, back in 1981, it's like before that, black people couldn't even go into the temple and black people couldn't even hold a priesthood. And back before that, there was plural marriage and it was encouraged. You know, it's like going way back, but it's like they keep changing things over and over again. For all you know, maybe they'll change in a year or two. They'll accept trans. I highly doubt it. But if trans people suddenly start becoming billionaires and they become a majority factor and the church sees that there's a huge money point there to be tapped, and if they don't, they'll risk losing a lot of money, they'll just change the text like they always have to just say now it's okay. So why did God say you had to be punished and persecuted for all that time if he was just going to suddenly make it okay? You know what I mean? It's like apply what was there before to today. Why is it that the prophets, the white prophets of the Mormon church, they're all white. Why is it that the white prophets get to decide to when you can reinterpret the book, and suddenly like caffeine, you used to not be able to have caffeine at all. Caffeine was a big no-no, but now Mormons can drink soda. Soda's a huge enterprise. They make tons and tons of money off of like little soda shops now all over and Utah. That used to be no-go. Now it's just coffee is a no-go, but soda is okay. So if you drank soda before that, you were doing a bad thing. Yet now it's okay. You see what I'm saying? It's like, why is it okay today, but it wasn't okay yesterday? Like, why didn't God come and tell you that he was going to make it okay in a couple of years? Like, oh, here, just hold on. You can keep drinking soda because don't worry, in a couple of years, I'm going to make it okay. It's just not okay right now. That's the kind of shit you look at, and it just takes all credibility out of a religion. And every one of them does it. It doesn't matter which religions, they all reinterpret the shit over time from the same foundational text. They take out the things that collide with society. Because, of course, like, for instance, the fundamentalist Mormons, they actually are following Joseph Smith and Brigham Young's actual original intent of Mormonism. So technically the fundamentalist Mormon church is the true Joseph Smith Brigham Young church. But why are they such a small segment and they're broken up into such small enclaves? Right? It's because they're doing something that goes against society and is shunned by society and is quite literally illegal. So because of that, they don't have the ability to grow because the government keeps stomping them down. So what do? If your church is more about not pleasing God or doing what God told Joseph Smith to tell everybody to do, but instead just do what makes them the most money and keep changing things to make the most money? That's people making those decisions. That's not God. God is the one thing all religions agree on is God is perfect. God doesn't make mistakes. So if God doesn't make mistakes, then the laws shouldn't have to keep being revised by the prophets every time the non-religious government changes in a way that prevents them from growing or prevents them from making money. Just saying. Hey, Tech Chef, thank you for the $2. He said, old pastor showed up with a Hummer. I was done then. Oh, dude, my mom's pastor, when she died, I about punched his lights out, dude. I think I told you guys that story about how he used my mom's death. And he's like, oh, your mom on her deathbed, she called me and she said that she wanted me to invite you into the church because he knew I worked for Microsoft and at the time I was loaded. He's like, your mom wanted me to invite you into the church and wanted you to really work with the church and everything. I really look forward to, to working with you and helping you with that transition. I about decked him because I talked to my mom and I let her know that, no, I am atheist. I'm not interested in joining the church. And even though she didn't like that, she respected it. So that guy lied to me. He knew my mom was dead and she couldn't say anything. He said that she said things she didn't. Even my dad confirmed that she didn't say that and she wouldn't have said that. So he tried to use my mom's death to manipulate me to get another rich person into the church. Even though I lived like 3 hours away, didn't matter. Oh, we can remotely do stuff. We got telechurch. We can do all this stuff. He wanted me in the church because I was loaded and I could have donated a lot of money. And you know what? He had his own parking spot right out in front of the front door. He had his own parking spot with a sign. You know what's parked there? $150,000 BMW fucking 8 Series. Yeah, fuck you, dude. Like, seriously, fuck you. And so I held back. I didn't deck him because we were literally having my mom's wake there. So I got through it. I did the wake, and then I got the fuck out of there. So, and my dad almost beat the shit out of him too because my dad saw what he was doing. And he saw that I was really angry. My dad even came over and got in the pastor's face and said, walk away. And he did. The pastor did after my dad was like, walk away, because I wasn't going to tell him to walk away. I was going to beat his ass because I knew he was lying to me right there. And I was like, yep, this is exactly the kind of shit why I left the church, because he knows my mom's dead. He knows I can't go ask my mom if she said that. And he knows how much I love my mom. And he knows if I think my mom wanted me to join the church, that would have made her happy, that I do it in that moment because I was emotionally compromised. Fuck that guy. Fuck him. And if he did it to me, he's done it to a lot of other people. So that guy can literally eat a bag of dicks. And I never, ever went back to that church, and I never, ever talked to that pastor again. But don't think for a second that I didn't think about, going back to that church and beating his ass, or going back and telling, going doing some research, tracking down the congregation and letting them all know what he did. I almost did that, but I was like, nope, I'm not gonna. I'm too mad. And that's one thing. When I'm too mad, I back off until I cool off, because shit like that makes me that mad, I'll take shit to levels that I'll regret. And so I backed off. I backed off and cooled off and focused on what mattered in the time. I got my mom was cremated. I took care of all the family arrangements at the time because I was the only one who had any money. I settled her debt with the hospital. Tried to buy my dad's house that he already owned and paid for, but it turns out that my grandma lied and always planned on giving the house to her other daughter, which was my mom's sister, who's a piece of shit. Like literally a piece of shit. Like I can't wait until the second she dies, I'm going to go find her I'm going to go find her grave and shit on it. Like I even told her kids, I even told my cousins that I'm going to go take a shit on her grave. And they understand why, because they know what she did to my mom, and they know what she did to my dad after she died. She literally told my mom on her deathbed that don't worry, we're gonna help, we're gonna help your husband get by. My dad, don't worry, we've got everything, because my mom was so worried about my dad because he cannot take care of himself. My dad is not the type of person that can take care of himself. So everybody was worried, and he was like so messed up from this, and he could not function. And then the second that my mom's dead, my aunt is already in there saying, hey, when can I move into the house? Like when can we get, his dad moved out or whatever? Oh, we'll give him like 3 months. We'll give him 3 months, and then we'll kick him out, and then he'll have to go find another place to live, and then you can go ahead and have that house. Even though my dad paid $90,000 for it throughout 30 years over his life, he made every single payment on that house. Like every single payment on that house. It was literally paid off. And my grandma even said, hey, it's paid off. You own the house. It just wasn't signed over. And then when my mom died, she's like, oh, well, I still technically have my name, so I'm going to give it to my other daughter. Yeah, she deserves everything that's coming her way. Seriously. And then, of course, after that all happened, I was pissed off. So I did some research and found out that, yeah, she's still scamming. She's still scheming. She's still ripping people off. She used to run. I told you she ran a jewelry scam using me as a mark back in the day, to put me next to her to make it look like she had a kid so that loss preventions wouldn't pay attention to a scam that she had going with an insider at Sears, where they'd buy shit on sale and return it with no receipt at full cost. And then her friend that was the manager would override it and then give her the difference. And then they make $2,000 or $3,000 and split it. It's like everything she did was a scam. Her entire life. I remember growing up, she was always scamming. Oh, I'm going to order shit from Newegg, and when it shows up on the porch, I'm going to take it to your house and stick it in your closet, and then call and say that it never was on my porch. It said it was delivered, but it was on my porch, so that she could claim the insurance money. She did it so many times. I'm actually surprised that they never investigated her to figure out that she was just fucking scamming. But anyways, total piece of shit. Another reason what's if God was real, why would people like that exist? And by the way, she identified as Christian, considered herself a good Christian, always talked about, oh, I love God, this, God. Same shit, man. Just fucking it seems like every single bad person that likes to manipulate other people, they somehow lock onto that religion grift. Like, ooh, this is indoctrinated from a young age. So if I use this, I can use it to shame them. I can use it to make them feel bad. I can use it to guilt them into helping me or doing what I want. And it fucking works, which is so sad. Hey, what's up, Fox Mamba? It's good to see you. Said, yeah, I made it to the live. Watch every tech talk at work now. I had time for live. Oh, that's awesome. I didn't know you watched the VODs. That's awesome. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. It's good to see you. By the way, Fox Mamba, she made the craziest transformation I've ever seen of a person in my entire life. Holy crap. Holy crap. Like, I remember back in the day when I met her for the first time in person at a LAN party. I think it was PDX LAN was the first time I met her in person. And it's like, she's just a nerdy girl playing games and loving to just sit around and play video games. And the next thing you know, I swear to God, it was like a year or two later, she decided to just get in the best shape of her life. And she is ripped and probably could run nonstop 24/7 without ever slowing down now. She is cut. Oh my god. Sorry. I hope I'm not making you blush. But seriously, that was quite the transformation. Like it makes me jealous because it's like at the same time it's like I'd love to do the same thing, but sadly I've got some physical defects going on with me that kind of prevent that from happening. But man, I would love to undergo a transformation like that. Oh my god, that would be amazing. And sadly, there was a time in my life where if I had made that transformation earlier, when I probably could have deferred the damage a little bit longer. But sadly, the damage I have is inevitable. And even the doctors told me that. Every doctor, I went to 3 different doctors, figuring I'd get a different opinion if enough of them looked at me and scanned me and looked at my MRIs and my scan. They all said the same thing. They all said that I will be in a wheelchair in my late 40s or early 50s. Well, I'm approaching my late 40s and I'm not in a wheelchair yet, but I'm definitely degrading fast. So, because they tracked my record over time, looking at my scans, and they could see how much more my spine was deviating and how much more bone spurs I was getting along that section. And they're like, yeah, these will just keep on going. There's nothing you can do about it. You're eventually just not going to be able to walk. Oh, so yeah, like I said, I probably should have done a little bit more stuff earlier on while I could, but you know, I had a good run. I really did. I got to fly airplanes, drive rally cars, do all kinds of crazy shit that I never thought in a million years I'd be able to do. And I got to do all that stuff while I could. And those memories sustained me big time. Fox Mama said, building muscle is much harder than running. Greatest time of my life. Highly recommended. I run and lift for those who are unable. You're awesome. You're awesome. I seriously love you because you stick up for everybody. You understand that everybody has their things that they're fighting and everybody has their shit. Not everybody is the same. Not everybody can just do anything if they put their mind to it. Like, you understand that humans are human. And there's so many people that get in shape like you do that become so self-righteous. I've never seen that from you ever. Not even a little bit. You know, and I've seen that happen to other people where it's like they finally get in shape after trying 100 times throughout their life and they finally do it and the wind is just right. They get there and then all of a sudden they're like, anybody can do it. I did it, so anybody can do it. And it's like, but that wasn't your mentality when you tried the first 10 times. You know what I mean? It's like people need to understand that everybody is different and everybody has their struggles and everybody has their different things that they have to go up against, you know? And not everybody's dealt the same hand of cards, but everybody has different advantages and disadvantages. Everybody can do something and not do something that another person can do. Everybody has something that makes them distinctly special, like when you take everything and put it together as a whole. And that's how people need to be looked at. Medical conditions suck, but doing what you do makes happiness for us nerds. Oh, I appreciate that. I really do. Honestly, I wish I spent more time talking about technology. I wish I was back to making edited content on YouTube, but the truth is I don't use Adobe anymore because it's too expensive. I haven't touched Adobe in like 2-3 years. I tried to learn DaVinci Resolve. It was a little bit of a rough road. I need to get back into learning it again. But once I learn DaVinci Resolve, I do want to start getting back into making videos again. Plus, I have to rebuild the Nerd Cave. The Nerd Cave right now looks like hoarders buried alive. I can't find shit. Everything. I mean, I can't even get to the door without tripping. So it's really bad. I need to fix that first. But no, I would love to get back to the old things, doing the DIY gasms and stuff and just having a good time. You know, I love doing that shit so much, you know, and it's like, did I hit burnout? Sure. I did hit burnout a couple of times during my career, but that's ultimately not what stopped me. It wasn't the burnout. It was the health shit that stopped me. And then the health shit led to so much stuff piling up and so many other things becoming stressful that it just made it impossible for me to sit down. Because here's the thing, every piece of content I ever made, more or less, with few exceptions, I was super happy and I wanted to do it, and videotaping it and editing it was a byproduct. Like I didn't do the thing to make the video. I made the video of me doing the thing. And so it was just fun. I remember back in the day, Jay's 2 cents, he used to get so mad. He's like, dude, he's like, you spend zero fucking effort and just pull a video out of your ass and it somehow gets 800,000 views. It's not fair. He said this like, this was like early on. We used to, you know, go back and forth and kind of compare our channels and shit. And I laughed and I thought it was funny. I thought it was a funny quip, but he is right. Like the videos that went super hyper viral on my channel, they weren't the ones that took the most effort. They were the ones that took the least. What made them interesting and what made them viral was that I was doing a thing and just taking people along for the ride. I wasn't making the video and producing the video. I was just doing the thing and recording the thing and then editing it later. And people love that. I still have people message me, oh, I remember you. They don't remember me for any, this is what they remember me for. You'd think they'd remember me for like the room tour or the triple surround Diablo video. You'd think they'd remember me for, some of the drone videos, me flying drones out, Dirtfish high production value with Volair Media doing the professional editing, driving fucking $150,000 rally cars and shit. Sure, you'd think those would be the ones. Most of those videos didn't do very well. The ones that did well was me with a camera just walking through my computer room, doing one recording, one take, and then just voicing it over. That was my biggest video I ever made. My other biggest videos, setting up a hot tub in my backyard and stubbing my toe and getting mad. Cleaning an air conditioner. You know, it's like everybody knows me like, oh, I remember your air conditioner video. I remember you installing that inflatable hot tub. It's like all the videos that most people remind me, and then even the 3D printing stuff, that people remember me for isn't the shit that was like super complex projects, like creating the Stormtrooper suit that took months and going to a convention and showing up. Those videos didn't do well. The videos that did well was me just downloading a 3D model that I thought was cool, printing it on my printer, and then just like experiencing it and then recording it and then just making a video out of it. That shit always took off. So the one thing I could tell you guys is somebody who has had the highs and lows in the content creation industry throughout the years. I mean, shit, I've been doing this since 2008. Now I'm at a low for sure. Like I'm barely, you couldn't even really call me famous, honestly, anymore. But there was a time where I was in the 3% bucket of all tech YouTubers in the world on YouTube. And 12 million views a month was what I was averaging during this. This would have been circa 2015, 2016. And that was amazing. That was absolutely amazing. But the videos that always did the best were the ones where I just didn't put in a lot of effort. I just shot it and edited it and just, it was like, I got to do a thing or I want to do a thing. Just bringing the camera along for the ride. But I always wanted to be creative. And it was when I brought out that creativity and I tried to create something that was a little bit more edited. And not to say that some of those videos didn't go viral. Like some of the ones that I put a lot of effort into did go viral. But I'm just saying overall, it's like my biggest advice I could give to anybody creating content on YouTube is just realize that there's already a billion people out there that are making super edited, super scripted content. The content that most people just resonate with when they just want to sit down and watch something on the toilet, or they got a couple minutes at work during lunch, or they just want to sit in bed and before they go to bed and like watch some stuff. It seems like for the most part, the people just want to see something that's organic, that they can relate to, that has mistakes and shows that it's just a human, that there's, not a bunch of pre-research, not going through all the pace. Don't get me wrong, there's people that love that content. I'm not saying there's not a market for it. There absolutely is. Look at people like Mark Rober make one video every 3 months or whatever and just absolutely fucking kill it, right? With all the planning and everything. But I'm just saying, if you want to get into content creation, don't overdo it. The worst injustice you can do for yourself is out of the gate, overdo it. Pick up your phone. You don't need a special camera. You don't need a lav mic. Grab your fucking Android or iPhone. Anything that's got a decent camera and a decent microphone. Set it up on a little tripod and just start doing shit. It can be sitting there assembling something on your desk, putting a model together, and then just talk about it. And if you don't like talking about it while you're doing the thing, record it and then voice it over at the end. But people, authenticity is huge. Exactly. When they watch your video, they just want to see a human doing human things and feel like they can relate with you and feel like they're just a friend chilling in the room and observing you do a thing. And that shit just kills. Everybody thinks that you have to be funny and you have to manufacture being funny. No, the funniest things I ever did in my video were spontaneous.
Was obsessed.
Anything that I ever tried to script or anything I ever tried to force failed miserably. People can see through it. Even if you watch it back and you're like, that is so perfect. Like that. No, people know when it's organic or not. People know when the delivery is authentic or if it's been practiced. You know what I mean? It's like people are smart. They can figure that shit out subconsciously. Hey, J Miller Design, thank you for the $10, dude. Mucho apreciado, senor. He said, way back in the day, I saw a 3D printer in person, was obsessed, went down a rabbit hole, discovered your channel, bought an Ultimaker 2, and the rest is history. That's awesome, dude. Dude, I still have my Ultimaker 2. I have an Ultimaker 2, I have an Ultimaker 2 Extended, and I have an Ultimaker 3. The rest of my Ultimakers I gave away to various friends. God, I've supplied so many people with 3D printers now. Like half of my 3D printer collection has been given away to people. But I still have my CME CNC Artemis. So I have a Delta because I wanted to keep one of each type at minimum. So I have that. I have my Prusa Mark IV, which I absolutely love. That's my workhorse. I still haven't finished it after all these years. I really need to, but my garage is just trash now. So I got to go dig through it and find all the parts and everything. But I'm about 80% done with a Voron, 350 millimeter Voron. Which one is the Voron? What's the model number? I forget. The Voron. Fuck, it's been so long I can't even remember the full name. But really huge build volume, really capable printer, enclosed, carbon filter. It's badass. When it's done, it's going to be absolutely fucking amazing. It's going to be absolutely fucking amazing. My neighbor Chris already said he'd help me finish it. I just gotta get him over here. Probably not this summer. Wait until things cool off a little because it's really hot out right now. But when things cool off a little bit, he said he'd come over and help me in the garage if I clear some shit out. We can finally finish that thing. Yeah, the 2.4. That's what it is. Sorry, the Voron 2.4, 350 millimeter, the big one. I've got my Ultimaker 3 that I kept. The reason I kept the Ultimaker, even though it has an ancient firmware, ancient control circuitry, it doesn't have any of the cool new whiz-bang features. It's super slow by comparison. The Mark IV runs circles around it. But the reason I kept it is it's a Cartesian printer that has amazing print quality. It's slow, but it has absolutely amazing print quality. It has a glass bed, which really does come in handy for a lot of materials. Borosilicate glass bed, and it has dual nozzles. So it can do dual material. And it actually does a pretty good job of it, even though it's an early system where it raises and lowers the nozzles with a physical switch. So I kept the Ultimaker 3 around, even though that thing hasn't had a firmware update in like 10 years. What else have I got? So I've got the Delta, I got the Cartesian, I got the Rail Core, or the Core XY, I should say. I've got the Bed Slinger. So I basically got like one of like every major type. The only one I don't have is like a Polar. I don't have a Polar 3D printer, the one that uses like the rotation. But those are incredibly uncommon and there's really no benefit to them. The only other, and then there's one more printer I don't have too. Actually, there's probably a bunch if I think about it. But the other one is the one that prints upside down. I forget the name of it, but there's a little portable printer that this company builds a kit for. And it's fucking awesome. It's the coolest thing ever. I saw one over at Joel 3D Printing Nerd Studio. It's an upside down printer. It literally prints upside down. And there's huge benefits to printing upside down because when you print upside down and you bridge, the next line that comes over pushes the bridge back into place. So no, it's not a Delta. The Positron. Yes, thank you. The Positron. Networking guy knows, he was there. Yeah, the Positron. That's a fucking cool printer. That's a cool printer. Super small build volume, but hyper portable, super low power consumption. You can run the fucking thing off a battery. But it prints upside down, and that gives it an amazing advantage when doing bridges on FDM. Like, I don't know of any better way to do bridges than to flip the printer upside down. And you know what's funny? It works with other printers. You can and Joel proved this too. You can take any other Cartesian bed slinger like the Prusa, flip it upside down and mount it to the ceiling. It doesn't have to be the ceiling. It could be under a cupboard. Just mount it under something upside down, and you can print upside down just like the Positron. Get all the benefit of the Positron just by flipping your printer upside down. It works. It absolutely fucking works. It's hilarious. So yeah, if you have a printer, if I can just flip that thing upside down. The other experiment I never got around to doing that I really wanted to do with 3D printing is I wanted to try to 3D print something that was just an empty box that was bridged around every angle. And I wanted to write the G code so that it would do one side, do the other side, and then do the top bridge after doing the two sides independently. And then what I wanted to do is physically stop the G code at each transition and turn the printer. So I was going to take one of my like Ultimakers. I was going to have it print the bottom, flip it upside down, print the bridges, flip it on its side to print the side to side bridges so that they be nice and straight, and literally turn it, pause the G code and turn it and continue with each axis printing, so that I could basically do infinite bridging, similar to how on the International Space Station when you print in 0G, right? So accomplish the same thing. I wanted to do that. And if it worked, like if I did the experiment and it actually worked and it looked good, then I thought, how cool would it be to create a gimbal that holds the printer, that's just stepper motor and stepper motor, and it can rotate the printer this way and rotate the printer this way. And as it's printing, it always rotates the printer so that anytime it's bridging, the filament's always going straight down. Think about that for a second. So it's literally rotating your printer as it's printing. So if there's a place where it's a 45-degree angle and it's bridging, you could flip it and have it do that. It would take a lot of like fancy slicing shit to do it right, to get everything to where it's not like, you know, trying to print like the whole thing at once and like fill it in, going back and forth, because you only wanted to do it on the downswing. So you wanted to like go down, print the filament, not come back up again. You just want it to go down, then come over, go back up, then distribute down, 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 thread by thread. I thought that'd be pretty cool. On some printers, the Z tolerance isn't tight enough to flip it upside down. I mean, you can adjust the Z tolerance. You can actually just press it harder into the build plate and just get a you either use borosilicate glass with nano solution. But yeah, I've never found a printer that you could not get adhesion, like that I've seen other people do it upside down and get adhesion. Unless the Z-axis is loose. If it's a printer where the Z-axis is loose and you can't maintain that tightness, then I could see that being a problem. But as long as it can hold its Z-axis, just slam that fucking print head right into the surface and use a really, really aggressive build plate solution. My favorite stuff is let's see if I can remember the name of it after all this time. It's Nano. What's the name of the company? Something Nano Solution. I've got it in a box around here somewhere. I use it for every print, even on my Prusa Mark IV. It 100% ensures that I'm not going to have any problem with bed adhesion, no matter what material I use. And it's made by Vision Maker. Yeah, Vision Maker. That's what it is. Vision Maker. Nano adhesive. This shit, it's expensive, but my God, I'm still on the same bottle. There it is. Vision Miner Nano Polymer Adhesive. It's $45 for a large bottle. And I'm just so you know, I'm not sponsored. I know I have to say this. I'm not sponsored by Matter Hackers. They probably don't even remember who I am. But they gave me a bottle of this shit many, many years ago at a Maker Faire. And this is like pre-COVID. So like 10 plus years ago. This would have been actually maybe not 10 years, like 2017, 2018, when I went to Midwest Rep Rap Festival. They gave me a bottle of this shit. I am still on the same bottle. Even when I was aggressively printing through that whole thing, even printing all the parts for my Core XY Voron printer, like I am still on that same 120 milliliter bottle. So you literally only need like 5 or 6 drops to cover the build plate. Like you just use a piece of foam to spread it really quick. Oh my God, does this shit hold everything? I've yet to find a material this shit doesn't hold. Like, it doesn't matter. It can be ABS. It can be stubborn shit. It can be the rubbery materials that like to come undone. I don't care what it is, but I will say this. I will caution you. If you put this on a borosilicate glass plate, be prepared to lose the plate. You'll most likely break it. Because what will happen is if you use a filament that expands and contracts more than a couple of percent when it heats and shrinks, when the bed cools down, it'll literally crack the bed because this nanopolymer will not allow it to just pop itself free when it shrinks. So what I recommend you do is take the plate while it's still hot right off the printer and run hot water over it. So grab it while the plate is still hot, get an oven mitt, take it off, go to your sink, turn on the water as hot as your hot water heater will run and run it over the plate. So there's not such a big thermal delta, and just let it wash away the nanopolymer and get its way up under the edge and loosen the print. Because I broke 3 borosilicate glass plates printing 150 parts for that Voron project. Because I printed all those parts on the Ultimaker V3. And luckily I had a shitload of borosilicate glass plates from some old 3D printing stuff I did, and they were all interchangeable between all my old Ultimakers, so I had a ton of them. But it took me quite a few before I figured out how to get the prints off of it without breaking a plate or taking little chunks. Like it'd take literal chunks of glass out of the plate each time I used it. But if you use it on a metal plate, like the magnetic metal plates that are on the Prusa Mark IV, works phenomenal. You take it off, you just bend the plate and you just pop it off. Sometimes you still have to run it underwater. Sometimes it'll be super stubborn. But yeah, with the metal plates, it works fantastic. And it seems to like smooth surfaces. Like the nanopolymer works a hell of a lot more on the smooth build plate, the PEI smooth build plate, than it does on the rougher build plate. That usually works better for like PLA and stuff when you don't want to use any adhesion. But yeah, this nanopolymer shit is badass. It's worth every penny. Like for the $45. I have to take my hat off to Vision Miner. They definitely have a special product because I've tried a lot of other bed adhesion strategies over the years. Now, keep in mind, I haven't been heavily into 3D printing for a couple of years, so my knowledge, pretty much ends at a couple of years ago. There might be better stuff now, but I can tell you out of everything I tried, all the hairsprays, all the glues, all the magic melted solutions using acetone and different filaments to make goop, all the different build surfaces. The one thing that worked better than everything across the board, all materials, all build surfaces for the most part, was this nanopolymer. And the cool thing is you don't even have to reapply it every time. It usually works for about 3 to 5 prints in the same area before it's fully gone and it no longer functions. So it's not like you have to coat it every single time you print. Just coat the build plate, run 3 or 4 prints on it, and then just recoat it. Oh no, the textured plates can grip way better than smooth with nanopolymer unless it's glass. Yeah, see, I didn't have that luck, networking guy. That's interesting. Yeah, I had a completely different experience because I have the textured plates. I have 3 different plates for my Mark IV. I have the rough textured plate, the medium, and then the PEI smooth plate. And the nanopolymer always worked best with the smooth plate, which is interesting. I wonder why I had a different experience than you. What materials were you printing? I was doing mostly ASA and PLA. I didn't try ABS on the smooth plate. To be fair, they all stuck good for the most part, but the one that really held onto it, where it was like a fucking nightmare to try to get it off the build plate, it was holding on it so hard, was that smooth plate. I've never tried a textured glass plate though. That's interesting. Do they make textured glass plates? If they do, I haven't tried it. Is it like sandblasted or something? You probably have some of Joel's old plates. I have one of Joel's old plates and I have 3 new ones. So when he gave me the printer, I actually got more plates sent to me by, I got more plates, filament, a whole bunch of stuff was sent to me from Printed Solid and another company. Sent me like extra nozzles and stuff. I have a nozzle upgrade I haven't installed on it yet. That's like supposedly this one nozzle to rule them all that never clogs, never supposed to work perfect with like every material. It's supposed to heat faster. I forget what it's called. But it directly swaps onto the Mark IV. I just haven't installed it yet. Company sent it to me a really long time ago. I'm sad that I haven't used it yet. I really wish I had installed it. I even have a full enclosure for my Mark IV too that was sent to me that I still got to build, but it makes the footprint of the printer a lot bigger. So I need to find a different place where I can put the printer to fully enclose it. Because right now it's on a rack where it can overhang on the rack, and it can't overhang if I put it in the box. But I do want to put it in the box. You know what I just realized? Did I not? I never sent the stream out anywhere, did I? I like started doing it and then I got off on a tangent and I started talking. Did I ever actually post the stream anywhere? I don't think I did, and we're like almost close to like where I got to end the stream because my son's home right now and my wife's out of town for the day, so I was gonna go play video games and do stuff with him today, entertain him, have some fun. I don't even. I never tweeted the stream out. My God, how many people are even in here? It's probably next to nobody, right? Let me see. Oh, we got 141. That's not terrible. It's not 200, but it's still good. Shit for not even tweeting the stream out and being so late. I'm surprised so many people showed up. That's pretty wild. Oh, you got an LDO, the black textured plate? Let me see if I have that one. Let me double check. I'll send you a picture of my plates when I pull them out, so you know which ones I have, just so you don't send me a duplicate. Yeah, the obsidian nozzle. That's the one I have. The obsidian. Yep, it's the obsidian nozzle. That thing's badass, by the way. I watched a video on how they make them, like how they actually make the obsidian, like how they create it with like super high pressure or whatever. It's fun. It's really cool. It's really cool how they make that little insert for the nozzle. But apparently they're super good. Jay Miller said, in my house, I just refer you to as Jerry. My wife knows who I'm talking about. You're 3D printer guy, she says. Aw. Well, I'm glad some people still remember who I am. I mean, you guys still come around, so I really do appreciate it. You guys are fucking awesome. Can't remember exactly what happened since it was ages ago, but my favorite, funniest moment was when you went to the LAN and your laptop refused to load Windows. God damn it, Dano XL. It's funny you mention that because I literally had my computer crash about 2 weeks ago, and it was such a hard crash. And Microsoft took all responsibility. They said they were really sorry. They apologized. They released a driver on Windows Update that was super fucked, that corrupted my file system and took me out, and I had to do a complete clean install. Couldn't even do an in-place upgrade. That's how fucked up it was. It completely broke everything. Broke system restore. It broke SFP. Broke DISM. Like fucking everything was broke. Couldn't even get into safe mode. But anyways, I did a clean install on my computer, and boy, I've been spending the last 2 weeks just trying to get it back to where it was, and I'm still nowhere even close. So yeah, I feel the pain, but yeah, that was funny. That was PDX LAN before they moved to the new location. And I remember Hobbs was like drunk and on the floor, like sleeping under my chair while I was trying to load my laptop. And I literally didn't get to do any gaming from the moment I got there to the moment I left. I was literally just reinstalling the entire computer and trying to get everything reinstalled back onto it. Then it was time to go home. So I basically I was just installing my computer and walking around and socializing. That's pretty much all I did that PDX LAN. But I still had a blast. To be honest, I don't go to PDX LAN to play games. I don't go to LANs to play games. I mean, I do play games when I'm at the LANs, but I go to LANs to socialize. I go to LANs to meet people and hang out to people and talk to people. That's what I fucking love about the LANs. When I went to conventions, I didn't go to conventions to see booths and go to booths and learn about new projects. I just did that as a side effect. I always went to see people. It was always to interact with people. I fucking loved hanging out with people and doing stuff. Most of the conventions I went to, everybody would just come and find me at the convention, and then they just stick with me for hours, and I'd just walk around with a whole entourage of people, and I'd be going into like events where I had to sign an NDA, and I'm like, oh, they're with me, like they're my camera crew, and it's just random people didn't sign no NDA, just coming in and seeing the shit they're not supposed to. I even used to give, I'd give a random person my badge. When I couldn't stay for the entire thing, when I left, I'd just give my badge to one of my fans and they could just go around and pretend to be me. And it was so funny. Like a couple of times I had people post pictures where they were like going in an hour early because it was a press pass and they were like sitting in a fucking Bugatti Veyron and like getting access to swag and shit that normal people don't get because they were walking around with a media badge pretending to be me. It was the funniest shit ever. And the funniest thing was I remember it was like CES I gave a badge away, and the person, it literally had my picture on the badge. I remember it had like a black and white picture of me on the badge, and the person I gave it to looked enough like me that nobody ever questioned it. Isn't that funny? So the person just kept sending me pictures and posting pictures of them at this event going around doing all this shit as me. Did you tell them should have kept me on? Did you tell them should have kept me on? For the CES, for the convention with the badge? Or wait, should have kept me on. I think I'm a little delayed, so I don't know what that was in response to. My bad. My brain is a little mush too. Like I said, guys, I haven't gone to sleep since the Twitch stream last night. So I technically haven't slept for about 30-ish hours. So I'm a little punch drunk. I miss going to rep rap festivals, but I'm not ready for one yet. I'm sure. I mean, I still talk to Steve from CME and everything, so I'm sure when I'm ready to rejoin the circuit again, I'm sure that I'll find a way to get to one of these things, one way or another. But it would be cool to hang out with you at one of the conventions, Nate. It's been a minute. It'd be cool just to hang out and just do cool shit. Jason at LDO is the man. Oh fuck yeah, he is. Oh my god, I love Jason. Jason is an amazing human being. I've met Jason a couple times in real life. He is seriously the nicest guy ever. He's nice. He's super supportive. He supports the 3D printing community. He doesn't have a negative bone in his body. I fucking love that guy. He's freaking amazing balls. Absolutely amazing balls. Here, hold on. Let me close my signal. You guys probably keep wondering if you're getting messages and shit. Sorry, I just realized my signal's probably been playing this whole time. Because I'm in a couple groups where people are messaging back and forth a whole bunch. I usually close signal before I start streaming, but I spaced. My bad. You need to come back to Washington? Well, next time you're up here in Washington, I'll meet up with you somewhere. My house is entirely too destroyed to do anything here, but we can totally go and do something. That would actually be a lot of fun. Besides, I need to get out of this house anyways. I need to take every opportunity I can to get out of this house and do a little bit. Although I will say I've been a lot more physically active over the last couple of weeks. Like I've done more in the last couple of weeks than I've done in the last couple of years. Oh, you haven't heard any notifications? Okay, maybe my desktop audio is muted. Oh shit, I didn't even notice that. Yeah, no, my desktop audio is muted. So does that mean, are you guys seeing any of the Stream Element things popping up on the screen? Like when Jay Miller gave me the $10? So way back in the day, I saw a 3D printer in person, was obsessed with oh yeah, I went down the rabbit hole. That was, by the way, thank you Jay Miller for that $10, dude. That's the biggest tip of the stream and I super appreciate it, brother. Seriously, it means a lot. Tech Chef 420 said old pastor showed up with a Hummer. I was done. Oh yeah, I read that one earlier. Yeah, I know, that's right. Why do they all have, like, if they're all so meager and they dedicate their life to the Lord, why do they have like fucking bass boats and 3 houses and like expensive cars and shit? It's funny. It's funny how the people that, you know, devote their life to God and claim that they're, you know, they're the ones that fucking have everything. It's like, yeah, sure. Oh my God. He said, let's do some salt float therapy with Graham. He recently moved in down the street from Joel. Oh, that's cool. No, I used to love floating, dude. I used to be a float tank whore. I got quite a few float tank videos on YouTube, actually. I even did one video where we went in there with VR. We actually floated and tried VR, and we created this experience where you floated in space. You were just floating in space throughout like a nebula. And so you were in the tank floating in complete darkness, and you put on the headset and you had audio. You had like this ethereal music playing, and then you were floating through space. And after a while, your body literally did feel like you're weightless and floating through space. Like your eyes, and it was full track. It was fully tracked. We used something that was basically a ripoff of a Google Cardboard, but it actually worked really good. Like I was surprised. The experience was fantastic. And somehow we didn't manage to kill the headset either. Like we thought for sure all that fucking salt, all that water with all that magnesium in it was going to fuck the headset. But no, it was fine. Halo and Fable said, what AI model have you been using lately? Claude Code for me. My favorite model for coding, but I don't have too much access to it right now, is Codex. Codex has proven to me to be like the most capable all-around programming model when it comes to Python. Different languages, different models have different strengths. But I will say this, Claude Opus is probably one of the most powerful all-around programming models there is, period. But Opus is also insanely expensive. When you run Opus at the high end with 1 million context and like Opus 4.8 million context, you can spend $5, $10, $15 on a single prompt. Like that shit gets expensive fast. I even got fucking open code stuck in a loop, and luckily my buddy Tech Brew Boss at High Cap AI hooked me up with a bunch of credit, and I blew through like $700 in credit getting stuck in this fucking loop with open code, and it just kept gobbling up and sending the same prompt over and over and over again. And it fucking, before I caught it, after like 2-3 hours, it consumed $700 worth of tokens. I was like, oh my God, I would have been, dude, if I had to pay for those tokens, I would have flipped my shit. Luckily, I don't think they had to pay for the tokens either, because they were tokens that were given to them as a part of, like, you know, testing out the AI framework, because they're an AI provider, a middleman. And, or I should say like an aggregator. They bring all the different AIs together under one API set so that everybody can just, you add high cap and you got 20 different AIs that are all competing with each other, all accessible to you through the same API and through the same stack. It's really convenient and nice. You thought Graham was down in Cali? He travels a lot. Graham travels a lot for his new job, but I think he's still based here in Washington, at least for the time being. But yeah, I do need to go see my boy. I haven't seen him in a long time. It's been entirely too long since I've seen Graham. I got to go see him. Got to go see him and give him a big old hug. I miss him. Plus, I need to go see Joel too. So it'd be kind of cool to kill 2 birds with 1 stone and go over there and see him and see Joel. Pop it on him, see what's going. Joel said I'm always welcome to stop by the studio. Let's see here. Have I heard of Cobian Reflector? I have not. What is that? Let me look that up. What is that? Cobian Reflector. What are you? Cobian Soft. No, that's something else. Cobian Reflector. Come on, I don't want to download it from Major Geeks. Is it a GitHub project, or here? Let me see here. Cobian Reflector Git. Let me try GitHub. See if it's on there. Yep, it is. Okay, I just wanted to see if it was open source because it looked like you could download it from a bunch of shady sites, and I was like, I don't want to do that. Okay, so Solar Analysis Router has a Cobian Reflector, and Sarvensky has a Cobian Informer. I'm guessing it's the first, so let me click on that. Okay, Cobian Reflector 2026. Windows 11. Let's see, what does it do? Cobian.nexustool.fun is the full URL. Let me go check it out. Stand by. Hopefully I'm looking at the right thing here. All right, let's see here. Secure package ready for deployment and installation. Well, I don't even know what it is yet, so I'm not going to do that. Let's see, what are you? Cobian Reflector setup page for Windows PC users. Is it going to tell me what it does? It tells me how to download it, but it doesn't tell me what it is. That's a little weird. That's a little sus. Okay, it's just README that points to a site and says download. Am I looking at the right thing? Here, this Cobian reflector. Here, I'll put a link. Don't download or install this because I don't know what it is yet. But oh, it's a volume shadow copier. Oh, okay. Then this looks like it is probably the tool. Let me see. Can I go? How do I get information on it? Like, why are they not saying anything about it? Like, they have a link to download it, and it tells you how to download it, but the site doesn't tell you what it is or what it does or anything. Cobian reflector download, backup and install, setup on Windows, sign into your license account, check updates inside the app, Windows 10 and 11, 4 gigabytes RAM, 1 gigabyte free. Let's see here. Yeah, there's like, where can I find information on like what it is? I got to go to Cobian Soft. All right, let me see if I can find a link there. Yeah, because it took me to nexustool.fun. That looks a little suspect. Is it paid software or is it free? Oh, home of Cobian backup. This must be it. Okay, so Cobian disk profile. There it is. Cobian backup reflector. I see it now. Okay, so I was looking at completely the wrong thing. Cobian Backup is a file-based file backup program that can be used to make automatic backups for your directories and files. Cobian Backup can be used as a service or as a regular application. It can back up to some other locations on the same computer, to a network, or even an FTP server. Let's see here. It's a newcomer to the Cobian Backup family. Although it's a whole new program, Cobian Reflector is completely .NET based in addition. All the features of the latest Cobian Backup as support for SFTP transfers. It is DPI independent due to the use of vector graphics and Windows Presentation Foundation. Wow, I haven't seen anything use WPF in forever. And it also behaves 64-bit program and 64-bit systems. So it says it's just a file-based backup solution. So this wouldn't be good for like imaging a drive. This would be good for just like backing up the files and restoring the files on a partition, correct? Or can this do like full backups where it preserves the partition data and all that stuff? Because it looks like they have the Cobian Backup and Cobian Reflector. No, I'll have to look into this. Let me do a little. Thank you for sending me this, because I am looking for alternatives to Macrium Reflect, because Macrium as a company sucks dog dick right now. I mean, Macrium used to be like the best of the best. I mean, it was worth the money. Like Macrium V7, fucking chef's kiss. I have a license for it. It's amazing. The problem is their driver for boot, because not only can you image anything, Linux, Windows, doesn't matter. Macrium Reflect does it all. Not only does it image entire drives or entire groups of drives, entire groups of partitions, you can boot off of media it creates and it will automatically restore either an individual file, individual partition, individual all partitions, a whole drive, a whole set of drives in a computer, even preserving all their drive letters, all of the UEFI boot data, everything. It's like a full end-to-end backup solution. It also does differential and incremental backups. So it creates one major backup that's the full and complete copy of everything. And then every other backup it does after that is either a differential, where it's everything that changed between the main backup to that point, or it does incremental, which now it takes everything from the main backup, then the differential, and then builds incremental backups that are just the changes. So you can have like 100 incremental backups, and if you restore the last one, it'll actually collapse them all into one giant image that represents the state of the machine with all of them together. So Reflector is really, really badass. Or sorry, Macrium Reflect is really, really badass. V7. The problem is Windows 11 implemented this kernel driver protection shit, and for some reason they banned their driver. I don't know why, but usually that means it was for a reason. If they ban their driver and put it on the banned list, which means I can still use it to back up my computer, I can still use it to restore an image, but now I can't mount an image and look through it like a file system. Like I can't mount a backup and go grab a file out of it if I need it. I can't boot it. I used to be able to use Hyper-V to boot into the image. So I could actually boot into any one of those incrementals and it would collapse the entire image and boot it in Hyper-V. And it would preserve the state, and I could go and get a file, change a setting, test something. That was badass. Can't do it now because Windows 11 blocks it. You have to disable all the kernel protection features to use the driver now. So it's either kernel protection features out the window, system becomes really unstable with a bunch of shit, because Microsoft obviously didn't test with that feature disabled very often. Very unstable. Or you enable it and you can't mount, you can't boot, you can't do anything. Those features just fail to work. And then, but it still works. Like you can still, the important part is that you can create a backup. All the different backups work. All the different methods work. You can still password protect your archive. You can back up to NAS, back up to FTP. You can boot off of media, thumb drive or CD, and restore anything from an external drive or from your NAS or whatever. Doesn't matter what type of NAS it is. It just fucking works. It's awesome. So I still like it. I still like V7. But the problem is every time you fucking open it, it's like, oh, you should upgrade to V8. Well, V8's driver's no better. Like, V8's driver's also blocked. The only version that doesn't have a blocked driver that still allows you to boot into Hyper-V, still allows you to mount images and use them under Windows 11 is Macrium Reflect X. And guess what? A new company bought Macrium. So now instead of buying a lifetime license, which is what I did, I bought a lifetime license for V7, which usually grants you a cheaper upgrade to the next version that comes out. Like if V8 comes out, I get a cheaper version. But now it's all Macrium Reflect X, which is you have to pay 50 pounds. Yeah, pounds, not dollars. So that's like 60 some dollars US every year for one license for one computer. How fucking stupid is that? So another company bought up Macrium Reflect, and I looked at it. It's the same fucking thing. Like, it is faster. Like, they improved some algorithms, they improved some compression, so it does technically do faster backups and faster recoveries by a good bit. But it's still all the same features as V8 and V7. Same mounting, same booting. Like, there's nothing it does that stands out as like a feature that the previous two couldn't do. It just looks a little different. And they want fucking $60 a year, and you have to validate your license against their server. So if the internet's down or whatever, good luck getting your fucking backup restored. So I refuse to do that, because with Macrium Reflect 7, you have a permanent license. You only need the license to create the image. You don't need the license to restore the image. So once the backups are created, you can always go and just restore them. You don't have to worry about challenging some server and shit. So fuck Macrium for doing the Reflect X. That's the dumbest fucking shit I ever seen. They basically created it. It's just Macrium Reflect 8 with lipstick on, to force people to pay $60 a year per license instead of just having a lifetime license for like $40. What data are you backing up? My entire computer. So I back up my C drive, my D drive, my E drive, to an image on my NAS. And the reason that I'm using Macrium is because the incremental backup, I can do backups like every couple of hours when I change stuff. I can basically treat backups like restore points, because it's only backing up the differences in the files. It's not backing up every file every time. So you can literally have like 100 backups on your NAS, and it's only slightly bigger than having a full image of the original drive, because it's only storing the little differences and changes that you made. And it works really well. That's the thing, is I don't know how Macrium got it so dead ass accurate, but when you go to restore the image, as long as the data is not corrupt in the actual image, it always restores exactly what was there before. And if you have the driver loaded to boot from the image, you can actually boot the image up, and it'll boot it up in Hyper-V, and it is everything that you previously had. Like literally everything. It'll even emulate the multiple monitors and everything. It's like really fucking cool. I quite like it. I've been a fan of Acronis True Image. Saved my ass a few times. I used that back in the day. I used Acronis back in the day. The other one that's pretty good, but it doesn't have like differential backups, it's just a cloning software, is CloneZilla. If you've ever used like the CloneZilla like bootable media, that is fucking tits. Like, as far as like the cheap solution to just do a reliable backup that you can always restore. Now, granted, it eats up a lot of space each time you create a backup, because it's backing up the entire thing. Have you ever tried Synology Backup? I did, Bradley. Yeah, no, I did use Synology Backup for a good long time. Except for one, it failed me. It just failed the backup after a firmware update to the Synology somewhere along the way, and I never saw any failure. So I didn't realize it wasn't creating backups for like 6 months, and after that I didn't want to use it again. But while it did work, it was actually pretty cool, because the Synology does do incremental backups, I believe, like where it just stores the changes. But the thing I don't like about it is, of course, it's Synology specific. Like, you have to have Synology. It only backs up to Synology. It only restores from Synology. If you take the image and you put it somewhere else, or you move it off the Synology and you try to restore it, it's like, nope, that's not a Synology NAS. I can't restore from that. So that I don't like. I don't like that. But I understand why Synology like locks all their shit down and, makes it proprietary and stuff, because they want to control it end to end and give a good experience. But just, it's not my bag. Like, I want to be able to back up anywhere I want, to anything I want, from anything to anything, and restore it. And the other thing that's really cool about using Macrium Reflect, the old one, V7, V8, this applies to V8 too. V7 and V8 are essentially the same. The only difference is V8 uses a more standardized open source file system for the imaging, whereas V7 uses a proprietary file system that they had before. So you have to have a special driver to mount it. So there's a little difference, right? And I think it's a little faster too, because of the way that they do the compression and stuff. It's a lot faster and uses resources better. But yeah, the thing I like about V7 is it's like I can create these images to NAS, to another hard drive, to an external hard drive, just wherever I want to put them. I create these backups. And if my computer just shits the bed, the hard drive dies, I corrupt the entire operating system, all I do is stick a USB thumb drive in the computer, hit reset. It boots right into the recovery tool. It already has drivers for like all the most common NICs. If it doesn't support your NIC, you can just add a driver to it. It boots in, it immediately, you point it to the NAS, you put in your username and password for your NAS, it authenticates, it finds the images in the folder you point it to, and it's like, which one do you want to recover? You click it, and it's like, which hard drive do you want to recover it to? Or if it's an image that contains multiple hard drives, you map them. You say, I want this drive, this partition table to go to this drive, this one to go to this drive. You map it out, and you just say go, and you just walk away. And it will literally go through and rewrite your whole file system, like bit level at the hard drive level, recover everything. So it's the one solution that you can pretty much be sure is never going to fail. And it was such a popular backup solution back in the day that Hiren's boot CD and the ultimate boot disk, those two utility CDs that have all the different tools and shit on them for like diagnosing and fixing your computer. Hiren's is like more Windows specific. It actually boots into like a safe mode version of Windows 11, surprisingly. Both of those tools, Hiren's and Ultimate Boot CD, have native support for restoring macro and reflect images. So you don't even have to use the recovery tool. Like you don't even have to build the recovery tool using macro and reflect. If you just have a Hiren's boot CD laying around or on a thumb drive, just stick it in there, boot off of it. You immediately go to file recovery and the tools, and boom, there it is, macro and reflect. You can fire it open, grab an image, and restore it. I haven't checked which version it is. I don't know if it's version 7 or version 8. I think it's probably version 8. So that it can restore both image types. Because version 7 can't restore version 8 images, but version 8 can obviously backwards compatible, like restore all the images before it. And I looked online and I was pissed off enough at Macrium because I already paid for this fucking lifetime license and they're dicking me around with their driver bullshit. I was like, fuck it. I'm just going to go pirate it. I'm just going to go pirate Macrium FlectX, but I cannot find a patched version of Macrium FlectX that doesn't have a shitload of Trojans and viruses in it. This is why you don't just go download shit off torrents. You don't download shit off of like Ware sites and stuff. Yeah, you'll install it and it'll work, but you also have backdoors all over your computer and all your fucking passwords and keys for websites. Your login auth tokens are all fucking sold on the dark web. That's the problem, is these people that just go and Google this shit and find a site and it's like, oh, look, they got all the software on your downloads. Oh, it's pre-patched. It's ready to go. And it even says on the site that it like passed virus total when it clearly didn't. You got to be careful with that shit, guys. Like especially like back in the day, it used to be fairly reliable to go get a piece of software and go get a patcher or a hacking tool to register it or to break it or to crack it. And it was no big deal. It'd pop up, play some music. The fucking distribution group just wanted to be recognized for their work. That was the end of it. Now, every fucking piece of software outside of private torrent servers, outside of private websites that are invite only, every single fucking one of them comes with hidden malware, Trojans, and all kinds of shit. I dare you to go to a public website that has like fucking hacked patchers and stuff like that, and hacked versions of tools and hacked registration and fake codes that you can put in with the patch. I dare you, go download the file and load it on VirusTotal. Do not open it on your computer though if you download it. And it'll all just go right by Defender. Defender is useless against the new shit that they use. Like Defender's like, oh yep, this file's totally clean and good to go. Pass it to VirusTotal, and VirusTotal just shits the bed. 40 out of 60 detectors detect Trojans and malware. You go over and look at where they installed on the machine, and there's 1,000 fucking records from Chrome and Edge and shit being uploaded to some random fucking IP on the internet. Yeah, don't trust anything. And I'll tell you right now, if you have downloaded like some wares, just searching some fucking random public torrent server and you download it and install it, I guarantee you got a fucking virus on your computer right now and don't know it. Sadly, a lot of the new methods that they use for exfiltrating credentials and information from your computer, they found ways to do it that just does not trigger Defender. The only way for Defender to trigger is if somebody recognizes that their hacker recognizes that they have a backdoor, which keep in mind these Trojans are supposed to hide themselves so you don't notice, right? But if somebody does finally notice and Defender gets a definition, then they'll create a definition once they have it, and then it'll be able to identify it and stop it. But now we've got these new fucking malwares that are dynamic. They're literally like AI is writing different malware and the code changes for each iteration of it. And they'll release 1,000 different versions with 1,000 different pieces of malware that all have completely different signatures that do the same thing. And sadly, it allows them to get around all these fucking patches that come out. Like they can spread a lot before they get a new signature. And because they're calling APIs that aren't suspect, that make it look like it's a legitimate app doing legitimate things, it gets away with it. So I'm just saying, be careful, guys. Like, put on your internet condom. If you're going to fuck around with anything, make sure you run it through VirusTotal first. Almost everything, if it's a keygen or a cracker, it's going to trigger something, but it's not going to trigger like 40 out of 80 of the detections on fucking, that's not a false positive at that point. You know, if it's couple, it could be a false positive, but if it's like fucking 40 out of 80 or whatever, no, it's fucking bad. Like, don't do it. Have you asked an LLM to help you bypass their DRM? I haven't, but that would be funny if it just was like, yeah, I'll do that. I still have a jailbroken Grok instance. I wonder if that would let me do it. Hold on, let me just ask a regular Grok instance. I'm curious here. How do I patch Macrium Reflect X so I don't need a license or registration and it just works without having to validate with a server or anything like that? It's going to be like, sorry, I cannot give you advice on this. Let's see what happens. Oh shit, it says I have to sign. Wait, what? Why do I have to sign into Grok separately than X when it uses the same fucking account? Are you serious? Okay, at least they made it easy. It did actually just grab my X auth. Okay, hold on, give it a second. I reinstalled my computer and I'm still setting everything up. So it's like every time I bring something up that I thought I already brought up, I didn't bring up and it's already there. I actually forgot that they have Grok Build now. I forgot about that. So Grok Build is the new, their new IDE for Grok. The only problem is I don't have the premium plus. I just have the regular premium. So I'm sure it probably peters out pretty quickly, but you know, I should install it just for shits and giggles. Why not? Right? Let's see what they got. Let me do a little install of Grok and see what Grok has to offer here. All right, got the Grok agent installing. Give it a shot. Okay, so all I got to do is type Grok to get started. Oh, isn't that nice? All right, so Grok. Let's see if it automatically authenticates. Oh, it does. Okay, so enter the code shown in your terminal. Here we go. Waiting. Okay, approval. Need to put this into your terminal. Wait, what? Approve in your browser to finish signing in. Okay, continue. What? Yes, allow. Device authorized. There we go. Okay, I'm in like Flynn. Okay, Grok Build Beta 0.2.62. Monthly limit left 0. Okay, so apparently I'm not allowed to use this without Premium Plus. Let me just type hi and see what it does. You've hit your credit limit for your plan. Do you want to upgrade your tiers? Pay as you go. No, fuck that shit. I ain't paying for Grok. I'll just keep using the regular web interface. Okay, so I want a new chat. How do I get Macrium Reflect X to work without any license or needing to authenticate with a server? Let's see what it says. Okay, it's thinking about my request. This is Grok 4 Fast, by the way. What software would you recommend to find viruses, etc.? VirusTotal all the way. VirusTotal. You don't have to run anything locally. Don't waste a bunch of your CPU cycles installing a bunch of virus testers that all just fucking do the same shit over and over again. It's moot. You're not going to save yourself by having more virus testing on your computer locally. Just when you download any file before you install it, unless it comes from an absolutely reputable source that you know to be safe, and you verify the hash, upload that shit to VirusTotal. Go to virustotal.com, drag it onto the webpage, or you can install their CLI. They have a VirusTotal CLI that you can install from GitHub and authenticate, and then you can check the files directly from the command line if you'd prefer to do that. But VirusTotal will go and do a total analysis. First, it'll look and see if it's already been analyzed by the hash, and then it'll come back and tell you like what it's found. Or if it's a new file it's never scanned before, it'll take it into the system, fully scan it, deploy it, sandbox it. Sometimes it can take like 15-20 minutes, and then it'll come back and give you a report telling you like what things it found and what things are concerning. And then you can make your determination of whether you want to install it or not based on what it finds. But it trust me, like not a lot gets by VirusTotal. VirusTotal uses like 80 different engines of all different types, and it scans everything, like literally everything. And I think they give you a pretty healthy credit too. Like if you create an account and stuff, you can upload like bigger files up to a certain size. You can upload compressed archives, and it'll like decompress them and check all the files inside of them. You can upload MSI bundles, exes, like it'll take just about everything and look at it. You used to use Bitdefender, too broke now, so thank God for VirusTotal. Yeah, VirusTotal's the bomb. Like I don't recommend anything but VirusTotal. Like use Defender locally, even though it doesn't catch anything, it's still pretty good at catching a lot of stuff. However, Defender, just be aware, Defender considers keygens and patches to all be viruses. So even if you download a fucking script that just like registers Windows, if it's a PowerShell script that calls 3 inbox commands and uses an MSDN product key, it will actually block it and say that it's a high risk thing, and it'll list the high risk thing as keygen or authorization keygen virus. It's not. They just don't want people using authentication scripts. But here's the funny thing: it says you can't run the authentication script, but you can run all the commands out of the authentication script and it doesn't trigger anything. You can copy that shit into another file. It doesn't trigger anything. And all the projects that have those commands on GitHub, even though they've been reported like a gajillion times, I even reported a few myself to prove my point, they don't get removed. Because Microsoft owns GitHub and they refuse to remove a single project that registers Windows 11 for free. They want everybody on Windows 11. They'd prefer you buy a license, obviously, but if you're not willing to buy a license, they want to give you a clear path to be able to register without any problems, so you don't even think about staying on Windows 10 or Windows 8. They don't want to maintain that shit anymore. They want all their data from you. Windows 11 gives them a shitload more data, a shitload more telemetry, and a much cleaner path to send shit to you also. So they do not want you on Windows 10. Let's see here. I managed to get Claude to help me fix an installer in the past. Just dropped the whole installer in chat and ran through the tool to extract, replace the files, and then repackaged it. Oh, that's an interesting. Yeah, I can totally see it doing that. I mean, it probably used a fair bit of tokens, but I mean, that's a good way to use it for sure. I mean, fuck, people use AI all the time to reverse engineer shit. Some AIs, you can just dump literally the binary out of the exe, you encode it, drop it into the fucking context if it's a big enough context, and it'll scan through it and tell you exactly what it's doing, decompile it. It can reverse engineer it into straight up assembly. It can then manufacture C code that does that assembly that's fully documented with full comments. That's why I said everything's open source moving forward. Everything as tokens get cheaper and it's easier to run larger amounts of data with larger contexts through AI without it costing a gajillion dollars, you're going to see that there's nothing protected. Like any proprietary piece of software, no matter how obfuscated it is, no matter how many compiler optimizations it has, it doesn't matter. You feed that shit into something like Ghidra, and then you take the Ghidra, the Ghidra extracted assembly, even though it's completely obfuscated to fuck, drop all that shit into the context of a large session like, Claude Opus 4.8 with 1 million token context, and let it eat. It will go through reverse engineer each and every single one of those files back into a human readable C file that builds with all local dependencies. It'll even upgrade it, make it work with newer dependencies. But you can basically say, take this code and reverse engineer it into exactly what it is as code again. But that code is distinct enough now that you can upload it to GitHub because it's completely different code, even though it does the same thing. It's technically distinct, which means you can upload it as open source. So literally any protected software, other than if it wasn't for certificate signing to prevent binaries from loading inside of operating systems, anybody could just reverse engineer everything in Windows and just recreate drivers and just load them, like take existing drivers, modify them, and reload them without any problem. But the only thing that prevents that from happening is the signature shit. Let's see here. Kylek said, I did a video a while back getting rid of the telemetry and whatnot in Windows 10. Any chance you'll do that for Windows 11? I really should. But I'll tell you the shortcut until I do get around to making a video. Just use Rufus. If you're going to reinstall, use Rufus. If you're not going to reinstall, shit, what's the name of the tool? There's a YouTuber that I really like. I don't know why I can't fucking remember his name off the top of my head. He makes a really cool tool for Windows for installing common apps and changing obscure settings and stuff. And one of the things he has in there is like a whole script for just destroying telemetry. But you can use Rufus. If you're going to do a clean install, use Rufus, and you can actually create a bootable install media that automatically disables all the telemetry and allows local accounts only. As a matter of fact, I think that's the only way you can do local account only now. I think they killed the little loophole where you used to be able to like shift F10 out to a command prompt in the middle of install and the out of box experience and basically like just punt through and skip over the fucking Microsoft account shit. Chris Titus, thank you. God, I was trying to figure that. Titus Tech Tips and Chris Titus. That's it. Chris Titus. Just do a search for him on GitHub. He has a tool that'll do that shit. Actually, you know what? I'll just go get it for you guys. It's been a while since I've installed it myself, but it's really easy to install, and it actually works really, really good. And he does a good job maintaining it. Let's see here. Let me pull him up here. There it is. Chris Titus WinUtil. Yep, that's it. Oh, wow. He's upgraded the UI on this thing, like, significantly. Holy shit. So it's, like, super easy to install. You just open a PowerShell window and run that. That's it. Here, I'll give you guys a link to the tool so you can like read it before you install it. But yeah, I love it when they do these installers. Just again, be careful with these installers. Only do it from trusted projects that you know all the contributors. Do not do it on projects where it's open contribution, where anybody can contribute to the project. And don't do it on projects that have low stars and low engagement and low comments. You got to be really careful on GitHub these days, because when you run those IRM commands, it's basically going out and downloading a PowerShell script via HTTX and then calling IEX, which executes the PowerShell script that it just downloaded in memory without creating a file. This means if it downloads a virus, it bypasses Defender, because Defender never sees a file, but from download to execution, it never sees a file form, so it can't scan anything. And so you can run really nefarious shit doing that. So don't use that install method unless you really, really trust what you're installing. But he also has other ways to install it too. You can obviously download it. You can build it yourself. You can run it yourself. He has all the code and everything uploaded here. It's not just binaries. He even has a means to download the tool by just clicking on the release tab, and you can actually download it's literally just a PowerShell script. You can download the PowerShell script directly if you want, so you can inspect it before it gets run. But I trust his tool, so I'm going to go ahead and install it because I have used it before. And Chris is my boy. So yeah, here, let's go ahead and install this shit. Oh shit, I'm in the wrong thing here. PowerShell. I opened up a command window. I'm out of it, guys. Sorry. Here we go. I'm erming it. Here we go. Chris Titus Tech Windows Toolbox. I like his little ASCII graphics. There it is. And it's open. It's that simple. All right, let's see what kind of tweaks he has in here now. My God, he's added a shitload of stuff. Holy shit. Last time I ran this tool was probably about 2 years ago, like when he was first really getting going on it. And it only supported WinGet before. Now it supports WinGet and Chocolatey. Chocolatey is another really common package manager and installer for Windows, and also works on Linux and a bunch of other operating systems. Just really, really cool generic install manager. Allows you to easily install and remove things. But yeah, he's got like every browser install on here. Brave, Florp, Vivaldi, Chrome, Helium, Waterfox, Chromium, LibreWolf, Zen Browser, Edge, Molvad, Firefox, Tor browser, Firefox ESR, and Ungoogled. I don't even recognize 3 of those. He's got all the communication software on here, a bunch of development software, games that you can install, Microsoft tools, multimedia tools, Pro Tools. This is just the install page for installing software. He basically created his own little version of Ninite in his own script. So basically, when I talked to him, he created the script originally for himself to be able to, when he re-imaged his computer, to be able to reinstall and set up everything that he liked. But then he just kept adding to it and adding to it and adding to it and made it public. And now it's like, God, it looks so much crazier than it was last time I saw it. So now you got a tweaks tab. It looks like under tweaks, you can do, you got essential tweaks, you got advanced tweaks, you got customized preferences. He's got a button to launch Shutup 10++, which is O&O's tool for quieting down telemetry and a bunch of other shit. But yeah, it's got active history disabled, BitLocker disabled, consumer features disabled, delivery optimization disabled, disk cleanup run, end task with right click enabled. Oh, I forgot how to do that. I'm definitely doing that one where you can just right click an end task. That's awesome. Because they removed that in Windows 11 where you just right click on shit and say end task. It's like, it's not that you can do close window, but you can't end task. File Explorer automatic folder discovery. That's cool. Hibernation disabled. That's awesome. I don't like hibernation. Location tracking disabled. Microsoft Store recommended search results disabled. Restore point create. Services set to manual. Start menu previously. And it looks like every single one of them has a question mark next to it, so you can go to a page and see what it's actually setting to manual. So it looks like it sets the CSC service, Diag track, which Diag track is actually the service that sends telemetry. So it disables that, which is great. Maps broker, which I think is for like the Maps application, which nobody's going to fucking use on a desktop computer. Store SVC, I'm not sure what that one does. And then shared access, that gets disabled. So he basically sets those to manual so they don't load and eat up resources. I mean, this is fucking cool. This is really, really cool, man. I'm glad I grabbed this again. So, you can remove widgets. Oh, I hate widgets. Oh, I hate widgets with a passion on Windows. I even disable the widgets tab down below. So I'm going to click on remove widgets. So let me see. Did I click on something under install? I just want to make sure I didn't click anything under install. Okay, so tweaks. I'm going to do remove widgets. And then there's Windows Platform Binary Table. What is this? If enabled, Windows Platform Binary Table. Hold on here. Come on. Allows your computer vendor to execute programs at boot time, such as anti-theft software, software drivers, as well as force install software without user consent. This poses a potential security risk. Oh, okay, so you can disable Windows Platform Binary Table. Unwanted pre-installed applications. So he created a list of apps that get uninstalled. So Windows Feedback Hub, I actually use that, so I wouldn't want that one uninstalled. Bing News, Bing Search, Bing Weather, Clipchamp, To-Dos, Power Automate Desktop, Microsoft Solitaire Collection, Windows Sound Recorder, Microsoft Sticky Notes, Windows Dev Home, Paint, Outlook for Windows, Windows Alarms, Start Experience App, Get Help, Zoom Music, and Quick Assist in MS Teams. I think it's cool, though, that he made the program so everything you click on, says exactly what it's going to do. So there's like no surprises. And then under advanced tweaks, he has Adobe URL block list. He has background apps disabled, Brave browser debloat, date and time set to UTC, disable reserved storage, File Explorer home and gallery, full screen optimizations, disable IPv6. I actually already do that. Microsoft Edge debloat. What does Microsoft Edge debloat do? I'm curious about that. Okay. Disables various telemetry options, pop-ups, and other annoyances in Microsoft Edge. So it goes through and does a bunch of registry changes. I like how he implemented this. Like, all the changes are just done through JSON. It's all just JSON blurbs that do registry changes and tweaks and stuff like that. Okay, so HK local machine policies, Microsoft Edge update. So create desktop shortcut default, that gets disabled. Personalization report enabled, that gets disabled. OF, EF, CG, JBEG, HPIG, something, blah, 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 gets disabled. I don't even know what that is. Oh, extension install block list. Never mind. So it blocks a bunch of plugins, and this prevents it from blocking them. Show recommendations, disabled. Hide first run experience. User feedback allowed, disabled. Configure do not track, enabled. Oh, do not track, enabled. That's a good one. That's where websites basically... They fingerprint your web browser, and they can figure out personal information about your computer and match you up to other sessions and other times you visited through your web browser by running certain things. So like without even identifying stuff from your browser, just by running certain rendering stuff, they can create a fingerprint that they can identify your computer through that over and over again when you return. So they don't need to know if your IP address changes, if your MAC address changes, doesn't matter. If it's the same computer, they can figure it out. But a lot of browsers have a method for enabling an anti-track thing that disables that fingerprinting. Usually it's not enabled by default, though, because a lot of websites do break. Like, for instance, Cloudflare struggles like hell because Cloudflare heavily depends on fingerprinting when it checks to see if you're a bot or not. So just expect Cloudflare shit to take a little bit longer before it clears you as a human if you have that enabled. But it's worth it. It's worth it because you don't want websites tracking you, without you wanting them to track you. And just disabling tracking cookies doesn't work when they can just fingerprint your browser. Yeah, it uses WebGL. Yeah, AuxxZillary's right. So it uses WebGL to do that. Man, I got a fart bad. Hold on. Oh, I hope you guys didn't hear that. Let's see here. Scrolling on through. What else we have? Microsoft Edge debloat. You got Microsoft OneDrive remove. I use OneDrive, so I wouldn't remove that. Razer software auto install, RDP unsigned file warnings, right click menu previous layout. I do like that one, the old style menu. System tray notifications and calendar disabled. Teredo disabled. What is that? That's an old thing. So Teredo network tumbling is an IPv6 feature that can cause additional latency, but may cause problems with some games if disabled. Well, I disabled IPv6, so it wouldn't matter anyways. Let's see here. What else does it do? Just be aware though, like doing this stuff, it looks like he has the ability to undo it too. Like you can do and undo it, but just beware, like do a backup, do a restore point before you do any of this, especially if you don't understand what each one of these options does. Oh, BSOD verbose mode. Fuck yeah. I definitely want that. So right now in Windows 11, if you hit a BSOD, it doesn't give you a bunch of information. It doesn't give you the blue screen of death with all the information that's really helpful. It just gives you a generic, oh, you hit a kernel security check. Oh, we're sorry for the inconvenience. I prefer getting the traditional blue screen. So I didn't know you could still enable that on Windows 11. So I'm going to enable that. Dark theme on Windows already enabled. Enable long paths. I do like long paths. File Explorer, file extensions, File Explorer, hidden files. I'm going to leave those off. Game mode on. Lock screen disable. You can disable the lock screen? Skips the lock screen entirely and goes directly to the sign-in screen on boot and wake. Is that like assuming that you have one account on the system? Like it just picks one account and then you back out if it's not the right one? I'll have to play with that one. Login screen acrylic blur effect on login screen. Login verbose mode shows detailed messages during startup and shutdown. Oh, you can do a verbose login so it doesn't just show the spinny thing. You can actually like see what it's loading and what it's doing. Fuck, I'm enabling that. Hell yeah. Microsoft Outlook new version. Mouse acceleration. I already have that enabled. Multiplane overlay. What is that? Can you tell me? Do you got a mouse over for that one? No? Oh, hold on. Almost. Okay. Composite multiple image layers, which can sometimes cause issues with graphics cards. Oh, that's only enabled if you need it. Numlock on startup. Nope. S0 sleep network connectivity. S3 sleep. Scroll bar is always visible. Settings, homepage, start menu, Bing search, start menu recommendations. Oh, you can disable start menu recommendations? Fuck yeah. Turn that shit off. Oh, wow. It actually restarted Explorer as soon as I did it. I thought I had to apply it. That's awesome. It got rid of it under the start menu. Fuck yeah. Oh man, I gotta reach out to Chris Titus. This is fucking cool. Hey, are any of you guys playing with this tool while I'm also playing with it? This is badass. Herfel Spring said Chris barely codes anymore. He mostly does code reviewing, like his streams on Twitch and YouTube where you get to follow the process, but those are right now on a pause. Check out his Linutil too. Why did he stop coding? Is it just because everybody's doing vibe coding now? Because that's the thing, like if I did any videos on coding, it would all be vibe coding because I can't find a single project where I can beat vibe coding. Like it's just vibe coding is so efficient, even with a shitty AI, I'm faster vibe coding than just doing it from scratch. This is a badass tool. So is he technically not maintaining this anymore then? Like, let's see, when was the last time he did oh fuck, he's still maintaining it. He literally just checked in something yesterday. So yeah, this is still under active development. So he just updated generated dev doc. Let me see what else. What's his other check-in list? How do I look at the check-in list here on Git from the web page? GitHub. Let me click on it and see if I can go back through his change list. Okay, he did 63 changes to the documentation. Let's see. Oh, last release was 5 days ago. So he did a new release 5 days ago, where he redistributed the script because there was enough changes to it. So yeah, no, this is still definitely under active development. So the Windows utility definitely is still fresh. So I would still expect most of these settings and changes to actually work. Let's see here. Sticky keys, system tray battery percentage, taskbar centered icons, taskbar search icon, taskbar view icon. I disable all those. Ultimate performance profile enabled or disabled. I'm going to go ahead and enable that. There we go. It's enabled. By default, the ultimate power performance profile isn't even available in Windows 11. You have to actually like do a thing to add it back. But all it does is basically it has a couple little hidden things in it that run your CPU at 100%, disable a lot of like the throttling shit. So it eats up more power, but it also prevents micro stutter a lot of the time. So I leave it on. Okay, so he has tweaks, and then under tweaks, he has standard, minimal, advanced, clear, and get installed tweaks. So he's got a bunch of different settings you can click on to do like different variations. Then he has a config tab, and under config, you can do .NET Framework enabled, Hyper-V enabled, legacy F8 boot recovery enabled. Oh my God, you can enable the legacy F8 boot recovery? Fuck, I swear to God, I didn't know you could do that in Windows 11. I thought that they got rid of that for good. Like, I've been spanning F8 like a motherfucker and it never works anymore. So I'm definitely doing that. Holy shit. Config here. Can I just apply that right now? Okay, legacy boot recovery enabled. Sorry. Legacy media components. Don't need those. Network file system, NFS enabled. I don't need that because I'm not dealing with any Linux file system stuff. Registry backup, daily task enabled. Windows Sandbox enabled, and Windows Subsystem for Linux enabled. I thought I already had. Do I not have WSL enabled yet? Anyways, I am going to enable the F8 boot recovery. I'm going to do that right now. So install features. There it goes. It's doing it. Okay, features are installed. A reboot may be required. I'd figured because it's registry changes. All right, then he has another tab called updates. So, sorry. Under the last tab, config, he also has fixes. So he has auto logon run, network reset, NTP server enabled, system corruption scan. I'm sure that's FSP fix all or verify all. And then Windows Update Reset and Winget Reinstall. That's handy. And then he has an Updates tab. So default Windows Update configuration, no modifications to Windows defaults, removes any custom update settings, security settings, balanced security configuration, features updates delayed by 365 days, security updates installed after 4 days, prevents Windows Update from installing drivers. Ooh, that would have saved me. That would have saved me big time. And then he has a Windows 11 Creator tab. Oh, wow. He can create... Wait, what? Browse your locally saved Windows 11 ISO file. Official ISOs downloaded from Microsoft are supported. This is only meant for fresh and new Windows installs. Download the Windows 11 ISO directly from Microsoft. Third-party, pre-modified, or unofficial images are not supported, may produce broken results. He actually has a browser for the ISO, so you can just select the ISO under Windows 11 Creator and like see all the files and stuff inside of it. That's pretty cool. Although, if I remember right, you can mount the ISO already under Windows 11 and dig through it with the regular file system. But I have to say I'm impressed. I have to say this is definitely a handy tool if you're like clean installing your computer, you want to disable telemetry, you want to install some standard applications. This is fucking handy. This is legitimately handy to have around. Like, I even found a couple things going through it that I haven't even done yet that I just totally forgot. Stuff I thought you couldn't even do. He's literally got shit here. Last time I looked at this tool, everything in it I knew you could do. Now I found a couple things that I did not know you could still do on Windows 11. I thought they were long gone. I did not know that you could enable boot telemetry where you could actually see the shit happening as it's booting instead of the spinny whirly bit. I didn't know F8 worked anymore. I thought they completely got rid of that, but there's still a way to enable the F8 safety where you reboot and you get into safe mode without having to wait for it to fail 3 times in a row or to initiate a safe mode boot from shutdown. Yeah, no, this is good shit, man. This is really good shit. Sparky said the easiest way to debloat Windows is to delete it and install Linux. I get that at least 5 times a day. Hurtful Spring said it's just that he is not really a coder, more a sysadmin. He has many talented contributors. He does more reviewing and merge people's commits. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Still a badass tool, though. Like, I mean, hey, I think it's great, and it's still up to date. So rock on, guys. Use it and enjoy it. Go thank him for it, too. I mean, if it actually does you some good, thank him for it. VR Gimp said, happened up on a cool tool called Fresh Station 12. It allows you to treat local media as a virtual cable TV station. Oh, I did hear about that. I thought it was a Plex. Is it a Plex extension or is it its own thing? Because I watched a YouTube video on, I think it was called Field Station. And it was like, it basically creates channels. And you flip through the channels and you give it your local media, and then you download a bunch of commercials and stuff from YouTube, and you put the commercial video clips in the commercials file, and then you put the videos in the other file by categories, and it'll actually just create a station where it randomly sets up like a TV guide with different play schedules, and it plays through, and you literally change through the channels. It's got commercials and everything. I actually saw that, and it was really freaking cool. Hey, Scanner Man, he said, how are you? I'm hanging in there, man. I'm trying to get by. How about yourself? Hyper-V makes my Wi-Fi upload crawl. That's one thing I don't like about Hyper-V. Like, Hyper-V is useful, and I like it, and it's actually, Hyper-V is super useful. If you look at my GitHub repository, I have a tool that I re-uploaded. that's designed for sharing the graphics card with a Hyper-V instance. So as long as they're running the exact same version of Windows and they both have the exact same version of the Nvidia driver loaded, the script will allow you to split the GPU physically and actually access the full power of the GPU from a VM running Windows 11. I don't know how to do it with any other virtualization software. Like, you can't even do this with Proxmox, technically. Like, it's something that only Hyper-V and Windows can do, but of course Microsoft made it fucking hard. Like, you need this really crazy fucking script that calls a million commands that nobody would ever be able to figure out in their fucking lifetime. But it does work. And it allows you to share the graphics card, so that way you can boot into a VM, use it for like your dev sandbox, and still have full access to your graphics card, which is pretty cool. You can't use remote desktop anymore. It breaks remote desktop, so you can't do the enhanced desktop thing anymore. You have to actually use a program like Proton to connect to it, and because of the hardware accelerated graphics, it no longer does the RDP shit. But anyways, really, really good stuff. But what I was getting at is what I don't like about Hyper-V in Windows 11 is, for some reason, when you install Hyper-V, it installs a network driver that's shimmed in the network stack. It's like a network mini driver that allows the VM to use either network address translation or get its own IP address or whatever, but it allows your VMs to essentially use your network card. But for some reason, when you install that virtual hub with the virtual adapters, it seems to slow down your physical adapter quite a bit. Like, I've noticed that. Like I'll go do a speed test without Hyper-V enabled, and I'll get like 1024 megabit, like a perfect gigabit test every time on speed test. Then I install Hyper-V and I lose like 100 megabit. It's not a ton considering I have a gigabit, but it's like definitely noticeable. And it depends on your graphics. It depends on your NIC too, because if you use a 10 gig NIC, it's almost not even noticeable for some reason. Like, you don't even really notice the slowdown at all. But if you use like a Realtek gigabit NIC, the onboard NIC on the motherboard, sometimes it can drop down as much as like half speed. So it has something to do with the CPU or something that has to kick in and do a lot of the logic or something, and it ends up slowing down the whole network stack. Has anybody else noticed this? Is this something? It might be unique just to what NIC you have and what driver, because I've noticed different levels of performance loss depending on what NIC you're using. Like, now I use a 10 gig NIC, even though I don't have 10 gig internet. I use a 10 gig NIC to connect to my router downstairs, and then I notice that now my speed tests hit 1024, no problem. I can't get the full gigabit. But if I use the gigabit NIC, then it drops me down when I run a speed test and I lose like 100 megabit. It's really weird. Yeah, you always thought that was weird too, that Hyper-V doesn't have a USB pass-through. That does seem really weird to me, because that's like super common. Like, you got a USB pass-through in almost every other virtualization software. I think even VBox supports USB pass-through. I know VMware does. I used to use VMware. VMware used to be my favorite virtualization software. At one point, it had like one of the best 3D accelerated virtualized graphics cards where you could still actually run a game using your hardware accelerated graphics, and it actually ran pretty good, but it wasn't using the full NIC. It was using an emulated NIC that was using like graphics and hardware enhancements. Anyways, it wasn't the fastest thing in the world. It was maybe like a quarter of the speed of the real hardware. So I still prefer Hyper-V, but VMware was awesome for like passing shit through and, handing over different hardware and different drivers. You could move Bluetooth shit over to it. You could move USB drive. It basically proxy anything. VBox USB is amazingly good. I believe it. I don't know why Hyper-V doesn't have that. That seems like such a common feature, even in a data center. Let's say you're running like a data center and you want to put a bunch of USB storage devices in it or something. You want to allocate each USB storage device as like a cache enhancer or something like that to each of the systems. Like, how would you do? You couldn't do that with the VMs. That seems really stupid to me. I wonder if there's a way to do it, though. I wonder if it's just one of those really super obfuscated things where it's like, if you go and look at it, there is some method. You just have to like modify some ionize or something, because Hyper-V is like that. Like, to do the graphics card sharing thing, you have to do this really fucking nutso stuff. Like the script is really complex to do the sharing. And then if you install an update on the VM and you don't install, or you install an update on the host, but you don't install the exact same update on the VM, or you update the graphics driver on the host, but you don't on the VM, any kind of mismatch and it completely fucking breaks it. Like, you have to keep all the drivers like perfectly lined up. Otherwise it just reverts back to VGA. But here, let me ask, I'm curious. I'm over here in Copilot. Let me say, is there Is there a way to pass a USB device through from the host to Hyper-V client? Yes, but only certain types of USB pass-through are supported in Hyper-V. It's not as straightforward as VMware or VirtualBox. Hyper-V does not support full raw USB pass-through for arbitrary devices like webcams, capture cards, USB security dongles, etc. What the fuck does it support? Okay, so the things you can pass through to Hyper-V are USB storage devices. These are fully supported. You have to plug in the USB drive, open disk management on the host, right-click the USB drive, set it to offline, open Hyper-V Manager, open up VM settings, SCSI controller, add hard drive, and then select the physical disk from the drop-down, and this will give block-level access to the device. Okay, so you can share a storage device. So that was the example I just gave. So they do say they do support that. USB devices via remote desktop, RDP redirection. If you connect a VM using a remote desktop, you can redirect many USB devices like printers, smart cards, audio devices, storage, and some HID devices. Limitations: no webcams, no capture cards, no hardware dongles, and no low-level USB protocol access. The other thing, too, is, like I said, if you share the graphics card, you can't use RDP anymore. So it's like, so you lose all that functionality. USB over network software works for almost anything. If you need true USB pass-through, including webcams, Elgato capture cards, Arduino serial devices, USB dongles, and other specialized hardware, you need a USB over IP tool. Popular options are Virtual Here, very reliable, USB Network Gate, FlexiHub, or free open source USB/IP for Linux. These tools create a virtual USB controller inside of your VM and forward the device over the network. This is the closest thing to real USB pass-through you're going to get with Hyper-V. Oh, I mean, I didn't know that that was possible. So apparently there's a software called Virtual Here that uses and it used the internal network, which is ultra low latency and ultra high speed. Like, it's not going to actually go out over your LAN. It's going to locally talk to the network between the client and the host locally. So it'll be like, less than 1 millisecond lag and like full bandwidth. So I'd imagine for USB, where it's only 480 megabit per second or something throughput for most devices, it probably would work just fine. Let me see here though. Virtual Here. Let me look this up because I've never heard of this before. Okay, so the software is called virtualhere.com. I don't know if it's free yet. Let me see. Nope, they do want to sell it to you. So to purchase it, okay, a license is fucking $49. I mean, I guess it's worth it if it works really good, right? So it's got a Linux USB server, a Windows USB server, a Mac OS USB server, a NAS USB server, and an Android USB server. Okay, that really makes it worth the money. So what that means is it has a NAS USB server. So that means you can install a USB server on Mac OS, Windows, Linux, and any USB device that's connected to any of those devices that's on your local network. You can proxy through to your VM or to another computer on your network. That's pretty cool. So like if I wanted to, I could take the webcam on my laptop and share it over IP with my computer or my VM. And now I could walk around with the laptop and it would be as if it was plugged, like the computer would see it as if it was plugged in, that USB device was physically plugged in to the other computer over the network. It would just act like the network wasn't there. It would just work. That's pretty neat. Can you do a free trial? Like, can you just try it first? Let me see here. Okay, Virtual Here Cloud Hub. Looks like they got a bunch of different software. Virtual Here USB client. So they got the clients and they got the servers. Okay, you can download the server here, but can you use it without a license for a period of time? Oh, the trial edition is restricted to sharing one device at a time. Okay, so if you just want to share a single device, it's free. But if you want to share multiple devices, you have to purchase the license to remove the limitation. But that's still, I mean, hey, if you just want to share a webcam or you just want to share a single thing, at a time, this is still a good option, it looks like. So here, did I post a link? I think virtualhere.com. Yeah, this is actually pretty cool. Okay, there's another one called USB Network Gate. That's not as recommended, but let me see if this one's free. I'm trying to see if there's a free one. Let's see here. USB Network Gate downloads available for Windows, Mac, Linux, and Android. Oh, they have a free version that you can share one local USB device indefinitely. Okay, so the same thing as the other thing. And they also support Mac OS, Linux, Android, and ARM. So it looks like basically the same thing, just different person making it. How much do they charge, though? Oh, eat my ass. Oh, my God. $159? And if you want lifetime upgrades, you got to pay another $80 on top of that. Are you shitting me? The single license allows up to 10 USB devices that can be shared simultaneously on a single computer. Yeah, fucking eat my ass, dude. Like, seriously. I'm going to go back to Virtual Here. Virtual Here is $50 and does the same exact thing. Seriously? Like, who the fuck's paying $150 for that? It didn't even look like it did anything different. It looked like it was basically the exact same software. All right, the third option is something called Flexi Hub. Connect to your USB and COM port devices over the network. Ooh, this one doesn't just support USB, it also supports COM port devices. And that's good because you know what COM port devices would be nice for sharing is like ESP32s. So if you're doing ESP32 dev and you wanted to like plug it into a laptop and then flash it from a VM somewhere, you could do that from a VM dev environment. That would actually be handy for me because I'm always doing shit with ESP32 and I can't flash from my VM because I can't access the COM port because it's on COM3. Interesting. This is actually really, really cool. All right. How much does this shit cost? Let's see. Supported devices, tunnel server for, pricing. Here we go. Okay. Don't hit me. Okay. $40. $40. And it allows up to 50 connections to remote devices. Keep in mind that USB Network Gate wanted $159 for 10. This is $39 for 50. So once again, USB Network Gate, you can eat my ass. And I feel bad for anybody that runs across your software and pays that massive fucking price only to realize that there's like two other options that are better and cheaper. I can't help but notice that none of these seem to be free. The only one that I recommended that's free is for Linux. It's called USB/IP, and that's a Linux-based USB sharing thing. Let me see here. Are there any free open source USB sharing over network things for Windows? I'm going to see if it's just not showing me because I know some. Oh, okay. Yes, there are free open source USB over network solutions for Windows. And the good news is the best ones are actively maintained and work very well with Hyper-V, WSL2, and other VM software. Why didn't it just show me this in the first place? Why is it sending me to the expensive shit when there's like free shit? All right. There's one called USB IPD-Win. It's a fully open source Windows implementation of the USB IP host service. It lets you share USB devices from Windows machine to any USB/IP client, Linux, Windows, WSL2, Hyper-V guests, etc. It's a native Windows service, USB IPD, works with Windows 10 and 11, lets you bind and share USB devices over the network. It's ideal for Hyper-V and WSL2, and it's actively maintained with over 6,000 stores under GPL 3.0. Why the fuck did it show me all the pay software? I'm like, hey, I need something that does this. There's like all the free shit's better than the paid shit, and it's free. It's called USB IPD Win. Here, let me give me the GitHub links for all these. I hate it when it does that. I hate it when you go to Copilot and you're like, hey, I need to find a thing, and it just points you to all the expensive shit first. You know why they do that, right? Because Microsoft owns Bing, right? And people pay to have their shit advertised above everybody else's on Bing so that their pay products supersede the free shit that's out there. And so when you ask the AI is like, oh, let me go ask our Bing search engine if anybody's paying us to peddle their shit. And so that's why the paid shit always comes up. And you have to explicitly say, I want the open source or free stuff. So there you go. Top tip, guys. Top tip. Wow, chat's got really quiet. Did everybody leave? Is there only like 5 people in here now? Let me go check, because man, I haven't seen anybody in some time, if I'm honest. Oh yeah, we're down to 118 people. Yeah, shit, everybody left. My bad. But I do got to get going here in a second, anyways. Since things are so. Oh shit, Real Botto, how the fuck? I hope you're still in here. Real Botto, are you still in here? I am so sorry I missed this. Biggest tip of the entire stream, man. $26.36. He said, "Here's some British coins. Everybody stay safe. Happy and great." Oh, thank you so much, Real Botto. Holy shit, dude. I can't believe I fucking missed that. I feel like an absolute dipshit. If anybody sees Real Botto around, please tell him I'm so sorry that I didn't see that earlier. Also, Mr. Toft, I think I missed you to an hour ago, dude. $6. He said, hey. I appreciate it, brother. Thank you for the support. Oh, he's still here? Okay, good. Whew. Real Botto, I love you long time. Thank you for doing the biggest super chat of the stream, man. I really do appreciate you. Appreciate you a lot, bro. Oh, thank you, man. Let's see. So anyways, USB IP Win 2 and Snake USB BIP. These are all free USB IP device sharing thingamabopper deals. So let me open one up. Okay, I've got the GitHub project. Let me send this to you guys. So this is the free version. Just ignore the UTM source at the end there. And this is a Windows software for sharing locally connected USB devices to other machines, including Hyper-V guests and WSL2. Windows software, and it says the software requires Microsoft Windows 10 or 11, Microsoft Windows Server 2019, version 1809 or newer. It does not depend on any other software. Run the installer from the latest release on your Windows machine where your USB device is connected. Alternatively, you can install it via the Windows Package Manager by doing winget install USB IPD. And then it says service called USB IPD display name USB IP device host. You can check the status of the service under the services app. And then it says the command line tool then will be called with USB IPD. And it also add a firewall rule to your local subnets. And to call it, it looks like you just said by default devices are not shared with USB IP clients. To look up and share devices, run the following commands with administrative privileges. You do USB IPD list. It lists all the devices, and then you grab the bus ID for the device you want to share, and then you bind it. And then once you bind it, it's shared. And then you go to the other machine, or if you're on the same machine and you're under WSL or Hyper-V, you install the client, which is USB IP. And then you type USB IP list -- remote equals and then the host name of the computer or the computer that you want to look for the USB devices that are shared. It'll list them. And then you just do USB IP space attach space the remote host and the bus ID, and it mounts it. And then once you do that, until you stop it, that USB device is shared from the host to the client. This is awesome. I am glad I found that. This is awesome. Because all those other programs we looked at earlier were $50 to $150, and we just found an open source solution that absolutely wrecks them. And it's free, and it was just updated yesterday. It has 6,000 stars. It's been forked 358 times. No, this is the real deal. This is some badass software right here. As a matter of fact, I'm going to install this because I will definitely use this. This is like software I didn't even know I needed. Okay, so I'm calling winget install USB IPD. There it goes. It's installing. There it goes. Okay, it's going to ask me for an administrator prompt. Yeah, because it's installing a driver, so it needs to. I take the risk installing it so you don't have to. Because I have a backup from before the stream. Dusty said, bro, are all your streams like this? I enjoy the discussion. I mean, pretty much. I don't know. You could ask other people in chat what they think. I'm probably not a good, I don't pay enough attention to know if they're all like this or not. But I'd like to think they are. Lewis Electric said, I still have about 15 Hyper-V containers slowly transitioning to Proxmox. I wish I had a better experience with Proxmox. Every time I try to use it, and I know it's not Proxmox's fault, it's with the fucking computers I try to run on. But the last 2 computers I ran it on, it had massive hardware conflicts. Let's see here. If anybody wants to thank Chris, you could buy his book. See the last message? Oh, Chris has a book out? Yeah, definitely go buy his book. That'd be awesome. It's called The Linux Desktop Guide. Dude, that's awesome. He's such a nice guy, too. He is such a great guy. Jumbo frame thing gets around the issue. I actually have jumbo frames enabled, and I still notice the slowdown. And I got it set to, 9,000, was it 9,086 or whatever, and still have the problem, sadly. Hey, Anthony's like, have we even chatted about the topics? Dude, you should know better. You should know better. This is Tech Talk. Remember, the topics are just there for sport. Nah, we can hit some topics really quick. I do got to get going though in a little bit because I told my son I'd be done at 3 and it's 3:30 right now, and he's downstairs alone. He's been jonesing to play some Mario Kart with me and watch some YouTube today because Mom is out of town, so he wants to hang out and have a daddy Sunday, and I do too. So. But yeah, let's go ahead and hit on a couple topics. I mean, I might as well just to say we did, right? So I was asked on Discord to talk about the concept of digital ownership. And this is there is no such thing. First of all, there's no such thing as digital ownership. There really isn't anymore. Everybody makes you think you own something because it's like you bought something, ergo something got installed, therefore you own it. Fuck no, you don't. You don't own shit nowadays. It doesn't matter if you buy a movie on Amazon, you don't own it. It doesn't matter if you buy a movie on PlayStation and buy a movie from Sony or buy a movie on any fucking platform, even if you buy it on YouTube TV, it doesn't matter. At some point in time, they are going to drop that from their library because they're not going to want to license it anymore or pay the licensing fees or whatever. And it's going to go poofta. And when it goes poofta, you lose it too, even though you paid the full value. You paid the exact same amount for that fucking movie had you went out and bought the DVD. But if you had the DVD, you'd still have the movie today. But because you don't have the DVD, you no longer have the ability to watch the fucking movie anymore. Lewis Lecture says the stream is good today. I'm several hours past my bedtime. Dude, I'm so glad. I'm so glad. That makes me happy to know that I'm entertaining you guys. That's what I live for, seriously. It makes me feel like I got a purpose. Let's see here. Dustin said, I just realized the novel Interference Engine publicly I've been working on for 3 years, how to go about seeing if you'll review it for me. Is there a way to contact with you? Let's see here. You just realized the novel Inference Engine publicly. I don't know how to say this any other way, but I just don't read books. I am not a book guy. Never have been, honestly. But if you would like to tell me about it, like drop some shit in off topic on Discord and tag me and I'll be happy to look into it. You've been working on it for 3 years? So an inference engine. So you mean like a scripted runtime compiler for like a scripting language or proprietary scripting language? Or are you using like some kind of existing format like JSON or XML? Like what like I'm kind of curious. Like what is your So it's an inference engine public I've been working on, your review. Like what does it do? Misa curious. Oh, you released it as a tool? An SDK, bro? Oh, okay. All right. As a general rule, I'd probably have to put it under a VM or something like that. But no, I could take a look at it if I got a little bit of time. I'd at least like to, look at it and see if there's anything that I could find of use for it. Gaming Maddie Rocks nailed it on the head. They want your money. You own nothing. It is so fucking true. So, it's for data analysis. Okay. Yeah, send me a link. Go to Off Topic on Discord if you don't mind. Like, I'm guessing, is this something that you want? Is it public where people can look at it, or do you have to be privately viewed? Because if it has to be privately viewed, I'll have to find you on Discord one of these days when I got some time and we could like negotiate and figure it out. But if you can post it publicly on Off Topic, then I can go and look at it when I have some time. Let me know, DM. I'll hook a tester API key. What platform is it released on? Because I'm curious. It's an inference engine for data analysis. I don't know what TQNN Labs is. What kind of data does it analyze? Like, what is it? Is it generalized data, like AI driven? Is this like large language model is like the foundation kind of stuff? It's live, it's running, it's available. You just install TQNN. You know what? I've heard of TQNN. You made that? I swear I've heard of this. So TQNN, making AI more human. Is it ToriDion.com? Is that your website? All right, so the journey from concept to associative AI memory didn't happen overnight. AI wasn't really much of a thing, but it was obvious the acceleration of data generation, generative AI, new computing resources such as GPU, quantum, and LLM were going to dramatically shift the computer landscape forever. That's the truth. TQN is an associative memory technology, the product for over 10 years of development and many years of quiet and not so quiet industry pilots and deployments. ultimately leading to what we believe is the world's first human-like memory architecture specifically designed to augment computational systems. So it could work with a LLM. Is the underlying computational architecture of Toradion's industry-leading Edge AI, offering such a DMM or document meta memory and TQNN, HDPA storage or high-dimensional predictive analytic storage. Wow, this is so fucking far over my head, but I'm definitely interested. It's live and run available. Okay, so GitHub runs on Cloud Run. It's been not Tritium TQNN Labs. Oh, wrong site. Oh shit. Okay. So yours is on GitHub? TQNN on GitHub? Like, can you link to it? So I go to the right place, because I definitely don't want to do the wrong thing. There's a whole bunch of links to this Toridion thing or Toridion. TQ. Did you say it was TQNN Labs? TQNN Labs, any data in, TQNN inference out. This looks like it. Okay. Pip install T. I found it. Here it is. Okay. No, never mind. I found it. It just took me a second. I got it. TQNNlabs.com. Okay. Thank you. Okay. So online SDK is available. API generated access to the TQNN any engine runtime. Finance, chemistry, text, tabular, imaging, custom signal analysis, all through one powerful API. Okay, this actually does look pretty cool. Let's see here.
Became a tech talk.
No, I definitely want to fart around with this. This would be fun. Yeah, no, if you've got a sandbox online, you can give me an API key so I can play with it without having to buy a bunch of tokens or anything. Yeah, no, I'd love to fuck around with this and give you my feedback. Because I do a lot of stuff with AI, and it would be cool to integrate this into some of the stuff that I play around with AI to see if I get a better quality product in the end. Because it looks like I could implement the SDK of this into the data and feedback that I'm getting back from several different locations and have it like all aggregate it and use its memory and everything to crank out something that's more accurate, like drill down on. This is for like drilling down on data and generating like research reports and stuff like that, right? Is that stuff it can do? Let me see here. Where is it? API docs. All right, let's see. Enterprise, runtime licensing. Okay, no, I'm looking in the wrong spot here. Where's the API stuff? Python script quick start. No, I want the whole documentation. Oh, hold on. Let me just click get started. Oh, do you have to have the key to like log in the first place to like gain access to like all the information, or can I just go to the GitHub project? All right, so there's the Any Engine API, TQNN SDK. There it is. Oh, it's in Python too, my man. Hey, Vader's Luxurious Loin. So what's up, Jerry? How are you, brother? What power station do you use for your setup, if you use one? By power station, do you mean UPS? Like what UPS do I use? My systems up here, I run two UPSs. They're both 20 amp. One is a Cyber Power 2000 VA, and the other one I think is a 2500 VA. They both have 4 batteries in them. So I use the big dogs up here in the room. But everywhere else in the house, the computers are on 900 VA. Like I just have the computer alone without anything else sitting on 900 VA Cyber Power and UPS. Those are my favorite brands of Cyber Power and UPC. However, Cyber Power is kind of going down a little bit on my list because I feel like they're getting less reliable. The batteries they ship with aren't as good as they used to be. So you got to replace them sooner. And I also had one like literally catch fire. Now, granted, I did put lithium iron phosphate batteries in it and tried to pull way too much current. So that's kind of on me. But the fact that it caught fire instead of just blowing a fuse was pretty disgusting. But as long as you put the right batteries in them, they seem like they're fine. Perhaps Stream Elements is muted in your ears. It plays on stream. So you guys are hearing all the Stream Elements stuff. I'm just not hearing it. That's interesting. I need to figure out why that is. Like, here, let me look at my mixer and see if I got anything turned off. No, everything's maxed out. Yeah, I got some configuration setting all fucked up. Bang, brother, you know it's the limit of your imagination. This is very early still. It's key gated. No, that's totally cool. If you're willing to hook me up with some tokens, I'd love to fart around with it, even in its early state. It's just I love playing with AI shit, dude. I love playing with AI shit, and it looks like this would play with AI shit. Like this is AI shit playing with AI shit. This is like, although is your back end for this completely LLM driven, or do you guys also have like proprietary algorithms sitting on top of it? Because it seems like for this to be able to generate like more accurate stuff, that it couldn't rely on LLMs for the computation completely. That it would also rely on like static algorithms, static mathematics, and stuff like that. I'm imagining, is it some kind of a mix? Alex V said in recent Linux Unplugged podcast episode, they spent almost the entire episode talking about Windows MCP and how you can fully control Windows machines with it. Windows MCP. I know what that is. Why is my brain not working? Hold on here. This is gonna be one of those ones where it's like I know exactly what it is, but I just can't remember. MCP. It's like a management protocol or something. Let's see, where is it? Lightweight open source project enables seamless integration between AI agents and the Windows operating system. Okay, this isn't what I was thinking at all. Acting as an MCP server bridge. The gap between LLMs and the Windows operating system, allowing agents to perform tasks such as file navigation, application control, UI interaction, QA testing, and more. Okay, that's kind of cool. However, I will say that most of the dev environments I've used, like Claude Code, Open Code, I even wrote my own called AICMD, already kind of do this. So I'm wondering what the major difference is between using this MCP server. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so running Windows MCP runs directly on your Windows machine, exposes its tools to connected MCP clients. Let's see here. I mean, is this like a first-party Microsoft tool, or is this third-party? Let me see. This is from Cursor Touch. MCP server for computer use in Windows. I want to say MCP is a specific Windows technology. For some reason in my head, I'm thinking this is a Windows technology. So I'm thinking this is a tool that uses it. Like what is hold on here. My brain is having a complete fucking seizure here. What is MCP in Windows? I swear to God, this is like a first party protocol. No, not memory compression process. That's not right. Media control protocol. No. Multi-point control protocol used in conferencing systems. No. Nope. I'm thinking of something else. It sounds close enough and familiar that I'm thinking it's something else, but no, this is something I haven't messed with. This is definitely new. So this is something I definitely want to look into also. Shit, I need to write a plugin that backs up the entire conversation from these streams. I think I can go and download it after the fact. I think Google has an API that lets you download like the associated chat transcript from live streams. I hope it does, because I would very much like to go back through this and like pick a lot of this stuff out, because you guys have shown me a lot of cool shit today, and it's just I'm super tired. I haven't slept in like 32 hours or whatever, and I'm just very loopy. So it's like a lot of it I'm having a hard time processing right now, but goddamn later I want to play with this stuff. Like this is a lot of stuff you guys have shown me during the stream I want to play with. Oh, model context protocol. Thank you, young Kim. And oh my God, I'm such a fucking idiot. Okay, god damn it. See, I'm like, I know MCP. I'm like, fucking, what? It's like in my head, I'm like, I know what MCP is. What is? I'm like, why am I not remember what this is? Model context protocol. It's the standardized protocol for linking LLMs to servers that operate tools. So if you want an LLM to be able to access and manipulate something on a computer, like let's say you want it to access the web, you create an MCP server that gives it access to control a web browser, be it through like Selenium or Playwright, doesn't matter, whatever you do. You create that MCP server, and then you introduce that into the LLM, and now the LLM, anytime you try to access the web or you use a moniker that's synonymous with that MCP server, it will then go out and use that MCP server to go and do the things, get the data, pull it back into the LLM and process it. So now I get it. So the MCP thing that Dustin, was it Dustin that was talking about it, or was it somebody else? No, Dustin was talking about the computational thing, the Q thing, the Q SDK thing I'm a bopper that I'm gonna play with. Was it Alex? Yeah, Alex was talking about the Windows MCP. Okay, so I need to know where that is, Alex. So this is an MCP server that runs on Windows that creates a bridge to the operating system. So when you tell the LLM that you want to do something with the operating system, it's using the MCP as the bridge to control the operating system. So it's exposing a way to manipulate the UI, find features, change settings, all that stuff. So now you can say, hey, AI, I want you to go and, change the resolution of my second display to 720p. And it goes through MCP, and MCP exposes a MCP endpoint or server for changing the resolution of the monitor. And then it goes and translates what you're asking into the commands that ultimately go and do the thing to change the resolution on the monitor. And then it comes back and feeds back the information, whether it was successful or not, or what it did. And then the LLM can then return that to you in the prompt. I gotcha. Okay, nope, this is all making sense now. Goddamn, I feel like such an idiot. And you know what's funny is just a couple of days ago I was fucking with MCP servers. So this is I was like, I know this is a familiar term in my head, but for some reason I was thinking it was a Windows term because you said Windows MCP, and I was like, fuck. Okay, so is it cursor touch Windows MCP, or is it different? Is it this one, Alex? Is this the one you're talking about? Because if so, I'm gonna start it up right now and click on watch so I can come back and fuck with it later. No, I don't want all activity. Just here. Participating in mentions. There we go. So Windows by cursor touch. Windows MCP is a lightweight open source project that enables seamless integration between AI agents and the Windows operating system, acting as an MCP server bridge. Okay, this all fucking makes sense. Okay, so you run the MCP server, you plug the MCP server into whatever AI agent you're using, because most of them support MCP on some level. Some you have to modify JSON. Sometimes you just go in and add it in a config. It looks like in the example they're using Claude Code. So they're opening up Claude Code, they're loading the MCP server, and then they can say, hey, Claude, go fuck with my Windows. Now it can use the MCP server to talk to Windows and get information back. And okay, I gotcha. All right, let's see how many things it can do. So it can do seamless Windows integration, so it can interact natively with Windows UI elements. It can open apps, it can control Windows. It can simulate user input. That's actually a really good one. That's a powerful one, and more. Use any LLM. Vision optional. Unlike many automation tools, Windows MCP doesn't rely on traditional computer vision techniques or specific fine-tuned models. It works with any LLM, reducing complexity and setup time. Okay, that just means that it exposes a ton of generic endpoints that makes it really easy for an LLM to just pick one. Rich tool set for UI automation, including basic keyboard input, mouse operations, and capturing window UI state. That's actually brilliant. I like that. Lightweight and open source, minimal dependencies. You know what this would be really good for is creating automated tests. Like if you want to create an automated test to test your GUI software, like to test your user interface or test your website, this would actually be really good to do that, because you could go in and say, hey, create a whole test criteria, scan the website or scan the tool, test out everything, make sure that it does what reasonably it should do based on the documentation, and then just walk away and go eat lunch and let fucking AI, play test your shit. That's actually pretty cool. Customizable and extendable, so easily adapt or extend tools to suit your unique automation or AI integration needs. So it must let you add additional terms and tools to the MCP, like framework. Real-time interaction, typical latency between actions from one mouse click to the next ranges from 0.2 to 0.5 seconds. That's really fast. It may slightly vary based on the number of active applications and system load. It has a document object model mode for browsing automation. So it uses if you use DOM equals true in the setup, the state tool that focuses exclusively on web content, filtering out browser UI elements for cleaner, more efficient web automation. It supports Chrome, Edge, and Firefox. And it uses the iAccessible2 fallback. Oh, that's great. That's actually awesome. So that means it uses like Chrome and Edge have a like Selenium. So it can use that to control the web browser, but if it can't do something, like if it fails an operation, it falls back to the iAccessible2 interface, which is the generic interface for people that are blind and stuff to do accessibility. So the UI can describe itself and they can interact with it with being seeing impaired. That's kind of like Microsoft Active Accessibility. So this is like the web version of it. And it looks like it can fall back to that. So if it has a trouble like manipulating a website or something doesn't work, instead of it just failing, it'll just fall back and try to use the accessibility route. That's actually really powerful because that would allow you to do a lot more stuff without potentially getting hung up in loops and shit. Okay, when you install this MCP server for the first time, it may take a minute or two because of installing dependencies. Wow, surprisingly uses Python 3.13 plus. I don't see a lot of Python shit using the latest Python version. Well, actually 3.14 is out, but still, this is pretty new. UV package manager from AuxxZillary. You install it with UV, and then you got to curl this install script. English is the default language. And then to run the servers, you just run UVX Windows MCP serve, set up the transport, set up the host, set up the port. Then it installs in the background. And then you set it up to start on every logon automatically. And then when you're done, it shows you how to install it. Oh, and they got steps for setting up that once the MCP server's running, you can set up in Claude Desktop, Perplexity, Gemini, Quen Code, Codex CLI, and Claude Code. So basically, I mean, if it supports all those, it supports everything. Very cool. Thank you for telling me about this. Actually, this is pretty fucking cool because I've been playing around with a little bit of MCP stuff, and this is neat. Oh wow, it has screenshot tools, click, snapshot, PowerShell registry, so you can like give it specific access to different things. I wonder what the total list is, though. I want to look through here and see what the list of all the things that can manipulate are. Because obviously, if you can enable and disable like different features and access to it, there's got to be a feature list that shows everything it can do. Oh, I found it. There's a massive list at the end that has everything. Okay, no, this is cool. I'm going to fuck around with this. This is badass. This is absolutely badass. Let's see here. Oh, wait, what else was I going to talk about? Oh, yeah, the digital ownership. Sorry, we didn't touch on that a whole bunch, but I just want to make it clear. It's fucking stupid, and it should be illegal for companies to sell you at full market value a movie or a video game and then just remove it from their library so you no longer have access to it when you paid for it and you own it. You didn't rent it. You didn't pay a monthly fee to have access to it. You bought the fucking game. You bought a digital game, and you no longer have access to it, and they give you no means of downloading it and archiving it and saving it. So they can't take it away from you. Even if it's installed on your computer, they remove it from the library, it pulls it from you locally. That is fucked up and should be illegal. What is the plan for your 20th anniversary next year? To be alive for it, Bradley. To be alive for it. Lewis Electra said, what integration tool did you use when you AI coded that PowerShell script for finding and executing sound clips? Oh, that was OpenCode. I used OpenCode for that one. Surprisingly, OpenCode can do a lot. Like, even without MCP servers, because it has access to directly manipulate PowerShell, I mean, it can, in real time, write a script to do anything. So, like, where normally you use, like, an MCP server, and you say, hey, go to this web page and do this thing, or run this tool and do this thing in this tool, MCP would mitigate those into the commands. Well, if you don't have MCP, the other alternative is you use an agentic agent that has access to a shell like PowerShell or CMD.exe, or I'd prefer PowerShell or Bash because it's much more powerful. And then you say, I want you to do the same thing, but instead of it using the MCP server to achieve it in real time in situ, it just writes the PowerShell script or the Bash script or the Python script, installs the dependencies and all that shit to run it to achieve the same thing. The problem is it chews up a fuckload more tokens. You get different results every fucking time it tries to do something. And half the time it might not work the first 20 times and has to keep correcting itself, just chewing up tokens. So MCP is definitely the way to go. If you're interacting with stuff and you're doing stuff that's deterministic, having the MCP servers to do that is the absolute fucking way to go. That's the cat's meow. You'll literally save 1 trillion fucking tokens. That alone is worth doing it. But it'll also be much more predictable. That Metal Man said, sorry, double enter, but look at John Deere. They want you to not own your tractor. Dude, John Deere sucks ass. I can't believe they're still in business. If I was a farmer, I would not buy John Deere stuff. Dude, I've heard all of Louis Rossman's rants on it, and he's absolutely fucking right. Like, it should be illegal to do it, what they do. Like, literally, to change a fucking, like, spark plug coil, you have to put your tractor on a trailer, drive it to the certified fucking John Deere place, and they have to pop the other one off, stick the new one on. It's one wire plug that anybody can do, and then they have to spend 5 minutes coding it to the tractor, even though it's not a device that needs any link to anything to work, but they have to put a code on it, otherwise it'll refuse to send the spark to the plug. And then they charge you like fucking $100 to code it, the cost of the part, and then minimum labor for an hour to install the component that took 2 seconds. And it actually takes longer to code the part to the tractor than it does to install it. That is fucking ass. I'm sorry, but that is super fucking ass, dude. The last topic that I want to talk about, so we can say we hit everything, is the Windows 11 update. So today, the Windows Update preview dropped. I doubt everybody's getting it at once. It's probably, if you don't see it under Windows Update, you just haven't been selected yet. Microsoft rolls it out in waves. They get the first 5,000 victims, then 10,000, then 50,000, then 100,000, then a million. They do rollouts, upping it every day just in case it fucks everybody's computer up, because we're the testers now, right? We all work for Microsoft. We all blow our computers up and fuck our shit up for them so that we can find their bugs so that they can fix them, because they won't hire a proper tester anymore. But anyways, I figured I would call out that I noticed that a preview update dropped today. This is for KB 5095093. So this would be 26,287.37. That's the build. And I looked up the KB number. As a matter of fact, I think I still have it open here in a window. Where is it? KB number. Look it up. What is it? Here. Show me a change list for Windows 11 update KB 509. 5095093. This, if you open up Windows Update under Windows 11, you should see this. If you don't see it, it means you're not selected as a part of the first rollout. I don't even know if I'm the first rollout. This may have already rolled out to people like a week ago, and I'm just now getting it myself. But anyways, I noticed it today, so I wanted to talk about it. This is a big one. This is, wow, I hit the not enough memory bug in the fucking browser. Haven't hit that one in a while. So anyways, this one's a pretty big update, because this is the first major update that Microsoft has really released since they promised to focus less on AI bloat and actually start fixing Windows 11 to make it more performant and more snappy and make it better. So Microsoft committed to that because everybody's bitching. They're like, why are you putting all this AI shit and more telemetry and slowing shit down and making it no, we want a faster operating system. Fix your shit. So they committed to it. They said, so we're going to see if they did a good job or not. I'm going to install the update, today and see how it works. Make sure I'm going to update. I'm going to take a backup beforehand, though, because I don't fucking trust it as far as I can throw it. Dustin said 23.99, 10,000 tokens fair. Oh, yeah, dude, totally. No, it doesn't. I don't need a ton. I'm just going to fart around with it for a little while so that I can give you an opinion on it when I have some time. And I may not have time for like a week or two, just FYI. I might not be able to jump on it immediately, but yeah, no, you don't even have to give me 10,000 tokens, even like a couple, like 1,000. Just give me enough to be dangerous to do a couple operations so I can understand what it does. Give me enough that I understand what it does, and I can see what kind of result it can give me if I integrate it with something else to see how much it can improve upon it. I think so. Yeah, I don't need to be like fucking cranking on your server and kicking it in the nuts and burning up a bunch of tokens and stuff, especially since I'm sure you're footing the bill for the back end token stuff. Let's see here. Have I looked into using AI to create clips of Tech Talk episodes and upload the main channel and separate clips channel? Would be great for sharing with others. I've thought about it a couple times, Pro DVDI, but I have really strong feelings about using AI to create content. Like, I use AI for programming and a bunch of other stuff, but it's like, God damn it, I hate that AI content is just taking over everything. And I realized that this would be producing like real clips of me doing real things, and the AI would be just doing that. So it's not like it's posting AI content, but just the fact that AI is like making the cuts and making the decisions and putting it together, kind of, I don't know, it just feels so impersonal. But I know people would like it. That's the thing, is I know people would like it. It would give me shit to upload to shorts. It would improve the channel. It'd bring a lot more people in. So I think I might have to just adjust for the times, but I need to frame it in a way where I don't feel like I'm just selling out. You know what I mean? Even though I know AI, everybody's got to learn it. Everybody's got to use it. Love it or hate it. It's the future. But at the same time, I don't want to do what everybody else does just because I have to, or just because it's the way to make more money. I know I need money desperately right now. Honestly, I'm in a really bad way right now, but don't worry. I mean, nothing's going to happen to me. I mean, honestly, I still have like at least a year or two, unless Trump really fucks up the market and my 401k goes to zero. But I should be okay for a little while longer, but I will have no more retirement left. Like, and so, it's stressful. So I need to do something. But at the same time, I'm just, God, I don't know, man. I'm a little scared. Oh, Pro DVD, thank you for the 30-month the 30-month being a channel member. So celebrates 30 months of membership. Caught the stream live. So let me just flex how long I've been a member for. A long time, dude. Longer than most people for YouTube, for sure. I got some people over on Twitch that have been like 110 months or 110 months or something like that. It's just crazy. Make a cartoon Barnabot that talks for you on the shorts. I've actually thought about making so I do have plans. I haven't done it yet, but I do have plans to create a locally AI generated talking assistant that uses my own cloned voice. So like when I go and take a piss or I need to walk away for a second, I can turn it on. You guys can talk to it and chat and it'll interact with you as my voice and as me, with a video of me just sitting here, but then doing my lips moving to the audio, basically using the same technology more or less that they used for the Trump versus Biden thing on Twitch. So, hey, Kenny, I'm hanging in there, man. I'm trying to get by just like everybody else. You know how it is. You know how it is these days. Anyways, yeah, the Windows Update thing. So they did an overhaul of the widget system. So Windows no longer open on hover. Notifications and badges minimized by default. Faster, more reliable performance. New dashboard behavior and customization options. New calendar interface lets you pause updates by selecting an end date. This is under Windows Update improvements. Point in time restore, new feature, a recovery feature allowing users to roll back the entire system, including app settings and files, to a previous state within minutes. Restore points are created every 24 hours and retained for 72 hours. My God, could I have used this feature 2 weeks ago? Like, why am I even using Macri and Reflect? If this feature actually worked as advertised, now granted, if you fuck up the computer too bad to get in to execute the feature, it's worthless. But this will let you not just do a restore point. Remember, restore points just registry and drivers. This is everything. This is app settings and files. So this is essentially Microsoft finally getting a in-house backup solution that can revert back to an entire state, including all software and settings and everything. That's fucking badass. That right there is worth the update to me. And I want to try that feature and see how it works. It's got accessibility enhancements, so full screen color tint overlays, more precise magnifier, and easier access to zoom increment. So if you're vision impaired, this is definitely an update for you. It's got file explorer improvements, performance and reliability. It's got faster startup for the file system for opening Explorer and stuff. I've already been testing that feature in this build using a little hack workaround. It actually does work good though. OneDrive shortcut now works correctly under admin launch. Address bar now properly handles double backslashes and quotes. Suggestion dropdown behaves more reliably, and File Explorer. For fixes, OneDrive files no longer duplicate in favorites. Oh my God, thank goodness, that's fucked. Text no longer repeats, selects during rename. Case-only file name changes sync correctly now. Hover files now show quick actions like open file location or ask Copilot. I don't like to ask Copilot, but whatever. Bluetooth and audio improvements. One of the biggest Bluetooth updates ever in Windows 11. I use Bluetooth a lot for connecting controllers and stuff to Windows and my phone to Windows. So I'm hoping this fixes some major issues. Major reliability and performance improvements. Faster AirPod pairing. Microphone mute syncs correctly with Bluetooth headsets. Better reconnect after sleep. Improved LE audio stability and more reliable voice calls. Windows Ready Print expansion. Windows now installs more printers using IPP by default, improving compatibility and reliability. AI and graphics improvements. Updated graphics kernel for better AI workload handling. Fuck yeah. Systems with 32 gigabytes of RAM can run larger local AI models more efficiently. Improved rendering across multiple monitor setups. Fuck yes. Yes. More reliable acrylic blur effect. Don't care about that last one, but those first three, fuck yeah. WSL networking fixes. Mirrored networking mode now works more reliably with VPNs. Yes, I was having so many fucking problems with mirrored networking mode in NordVPN. I hope this fixes it. Search-related group policies apply more consistently. That's good. Touchpad input and location settings. Adjustable right-click zone for pressable precision touchpads. Improved Japanese handwriting recognition and location settings now correctly gray out when disabled. Secure boot certificate updates. Secure boot certificates expiring in June 2026 are now being refreshed across devices. That's actually really good because there was going to be a secure boot. I think it already happened where like secure boot keys expired and people's computers essentially wouldn't boot or something like that, or it fucked up BitLocker.
I don't use BitLocker, so I don't care. But yeah, this is a lot of updates. This is a huge update. Like for Microsoft, this is a heavy hitting update. So I'm going to install this, guys, when I go offline and play with it later. And I'll give you guys an update on how it's going. But if you guys want to join me in the pain, let's do it. That's the tier 1 price, bro. I'll send you a tester key. I'm not sure where to message you on Discord. Yeah, hit me up on Discord. Just tag me in general. I won't be able to respond right now. You might have to tag me again if you catch me in general, but then I'll follow you on Discord. I'll send you a friend request because I have friend requests disabled to me. I have to send them out. I'll send you a friend request on there. If you tell me what your name is or whatever in general, and we'll figure it out. But today after I end the stream, I do have to run downstairs because I'm an hour late to go hang out with my son, so he's probably chomping at the bit. I'm actually surprised he hasn't come up and bang on the door yet. Did you see websites that are selling access to Twitch and YouTube vids of streamers? Yeah, that's sad. I wish I could do something about it, but sadly, it's outside of the jurisdiction. It's one thing you hate about online is everybody tries to steal shit and make $1. All roads lead back to SoFlo Antonio. Bradley Smith said, I've been following you since December 2007. Dude, that's fucking crazy, man. That's like literally when I made my first video, the mouse review. If you remember, well, you definitely remember if you followed me that long. That's all I released. All right, guys, I really do got to get going. I'm over an hour. Actually way over an hour that I promised my son I'd be ending. So I'm gonna wrap things up. Sorry I had to get a late start today, but I'm glad that we did get to stream an extra hour past 2. That's awesome. You guys are freaking awesome. I love your face. Hey, George, I knew I'd see you eventually. What's up, George? How's it going, brother? Ron Gauss said I had to reinstall Windows 11 2 times on my old MSI laptop with the help of Rufus to make it work properly. Dude, Rufus is badass. If you're on old hardware that Windows 11 is struggling to install on, man, Rufus is the way to go. Oh, Joey, thank you for the 38-month sub to the channel. He said, woohoo, lovers your face. By the way, Luke mentioned you on the show. No way, really? Did he say so? I hope he said something nice. Dude, I miss Luke, man. I miss Luke. I wanted to say hi to him when I was at LTX, but long story. But I just wanted to respect his space and you know what he's going through and the shit he's dealing with and stuff. So I didn't want to bother him. But I love Luke. He's a good guy. He's got both him and Linus. They're stand up guys. Linus catches a lot of shit from people that honestly he doesn't really deserve. I think people, just they don't try to look at the whole picture. They don't try to know the person, especially if they never met him in real life. That's other things that changes a lot when you know somebody in real life versus online. But Luke, I used to love talking to Luke and hanging out with Luke back in the day and stuff. He's a good dude. But I know he just like me, he deals with some health shit, or I don't know if he still is, but I know he's dealing with some health shit and stuff like that, and it wasn't helping him the way I was eating and posting pictures of food and shit like that, and that's kind of why we didn't talk for a long time after that. Is I just respected his space because I didn't want to be putting shit in front of him and making things difficult. But I always love Luke. Luke's a good guy. But I'm curious to see what he said now. I'm like, I don't know why I was brought up. Like, what did I hope I didn't do something wrong. Oh, it's just a quick mention of having you as a guest host in the past. Oh, that was cool. Yeah, I love, dude. That's a highlight of my whole YouTube career is co-hosting with Luke for one of the WAN shows. That was fucking badass. Not a lot of people have co-hosted with Luke other than Linus outside of the family. So I was hugely thankful that I got to do that, and I had a lot of fun. So I need to go back and see if I can still find that old episode. That'd be cool if it's still up somewhere. I'd go watch that again. Good memories. All right, guys. I'm going to take off. I'm going to go hang out with my son and enjoy the rest of the day. You guys are absolutely fantastic. Thank you, everybody, for the super chats, for the channel friend stuff. It used to be called member. Now it's channel friend, or was it always channel friend? I don't know. You guys are fucking awesome. I really do appreciate you. Love your faces. Please have a good weekend. Try to take some time to play some video games or have some fun. Life's way too goddamn short. And I'm glad that I could entertain you for a little while today. And thank you for letting me entertain you because I really needed to. I needed to feel useful. And I feel, even though I'm tired off my ass right now and I'm delirious now, you know what I'm saying? I had a lot of fun today. And I really enjoyed hanging out with you guys. I appreciate you. Oh, no way. It's still up. The WAN Show GameStop fingerprints customers. Yossi's real name revealed. Oh my God, 2014. Holy shit. I'm going to go find that and watch it. Death Saw, thank you so much, man. Hey, it's good seeing you again, Michael R. Media. Thank you again for everything, man. You have a good evening, Kylek, Death Saw, George Blakely, Anthony Hamilton, Iskoff. I know I'm just missing tons of people. Rom Gao, Kenny the Dragon, Vader's Luxurious Loins, a.k.a. Vader's Luxurious Nuts. You guys all know who you are. I love your faces. Thank you for showing up today. And you guys all, I forgot to tweet out, put anything on fucking Discord or Facebook or anything. And you guys all still showed up. I absolutely love it. And by the way, Houston should be back next week. He's just got to like deal with his new house. Everything's just all up in the air, so he's got to move shit around and play Tetris. But he should be back next week. Hopefully, we can rope David into doing a stream too, because I miss his face. We need to get him in at least for a little cameo. All right, take it easy, guys. Till next time. Peace out.